Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want you to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go.
Okay, guys, here we go. Welcome to the live. Joining me today, of course, is Kent. And it's been a minute, Kent, again, about a week ago. Whoops, you guys were going to be talking about. So, welcome to the live. Don't forget to hit that like. Should have had this back up first. My bad. Okay, so Jack and Lily. This is, of course, first and foremost about Jack and Lily. So please hit that thumbs up and the share. Again, keeping and being voices for Jack and Lily. That's what's important. So thank you guys all for being here. So Kent, welcome. And I know we're going to be talking at the start of this, you guys. We're going to be talking about the vigil and about the decals and whatever Kent wants to talk about in regards to that. And then we're going to get into about the disappearing Kia Rio. And again, so I want to say appreciation to all the family members or neighbors that have spoken out, that are speaking out. As you guys know, last night, Boss Man and the wife, aka Brad and Mary, were in the chat. So grateful that they were talking and just, trying to answer things, or, just being here, to be honest with you, because they did come out in the documents for Justin and Brad. So I'm grateful for that. Always grateful for definitely, Belinda being a voice for Jack and Lily and Chelsea. And of course, the family members that necessarily don't want to be out into the spotlight per se. But there has been people, of course, that have spoken out, on Hidden in the Fog. And that's been Haley and Cheryl. And then there was that recent article by Globe in the Mail where Cheryl and Haley were talking about Please Bring Me Home and stuff like that. So again, for everyone that's speaking out and stepping up for Jack and Lily, all I can say is from my heart to yours, thank you. These children need answers. Anyways, hey, Kent. So Kent, what did you want to talk about first? Did you want to talk about the vigil or the decals?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about the vigil first.
Perfect. We'll bring that up. I brought that up now.
All right. So, a few weeks ago, myself and a couple others were looking for a way to mark Jack's birthday and the 6-month mark of the kids missing. So, as we know, the 6 month begins November 2nd. Jack's birthday is October the 29th. So myself and the other couple have come up with a candlelight vigil ceremony. It's going to be at 7 p.m. Atlantic to 7. We expect it to last about a half hour. We have a home to read, a prayer to read, And we're going to sing play Bring Them Home song of Russell McDonald's. The Staff Sergeant Curtis Mason, who is the Pictou County Staff Sergeant for the Stellarton RCMP, he spoke at the first one. He'll be saying a few words at this one. We don't know or don't have confirmed yet the readers of the poem and the prayer. Belinda picked the poem. I picked the prayer. And the other reason why we're doing this is from the time when we put the sign at the memorial for the RCMP, they had brung it up then that they wanted a way to be able to approach it with public for the deconstruction of the memorial for the winter months once the harsh weather moved in. So this was my idea of how to be able to approach that as well. And so then when we were on the last live with Belinda and Sonny, I guess it was somebody in the chat, Belinda seen it, I didn't, came up with the idea about asking a business to give up a little spot of their storefront. So Cindy and Robert McKean of Amtech Limited in Alma, which is not far from the highway exit to go to the children's home. They're the business that has stepped up, and we're going to put the lighthouse and the other hardscape items and a couple candles in their window for the winter. We thought about already of when we would be able to bring it back out. Lily's birthday is in March, so that would be a little bit too early. So the plan will be, if there is no conclusion to the case, we will bring it back out on the 1-year anniversary, May 2nd. The thing I see in the chat is everybody said, oh, I will hope somebody goes live. Well, it will be live on my Facebook, my personal Facebook. We have contacted the admins of the Focus on Jack and Lily Facebook page, and we've asked them to, either one of them to come or see if there's anybody that is local in the group that would be willing to come and Facebook live it on the Facebook page. So that should happen. So like I say, it'll be Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Atlantic till about 7:30. We think it'll be only about a half an hour. We have hot chocolate and Timbits for kids and adults in case it's a little chilly. Michelle, who's the one that's helping me, came up with the idea of having little blank paper cards. So the kids, if any kids show up, there'll be crayons and colored pencils and stuff there that they can write a card to Jack for his birthday or to the family, and they will be given to the family afterwards. And then a couple days later, we won't deconstruct it that night, but a couple days later we'll be deconstructing the memorial, and it'll go out to the business. As far I see, there's some people saying, I hope this person or hope that person attends. They all know. I like the way that Michelle puts it. And if you've seen it posted there's a couple replies already on Facebook. This isn't being done for one person or two people in particular. It's being done for the people of Pictou County, Nova Scotia, and worldwide that want to say a prayer and hope that answers can be found in the case. We know that some people will not be there. When we bring the idea up, they said, great idea, but so we don't want anybody to attack any family member who feels that it's too much. They all said that they would be with us in spirit, and that's why we're doing it. So that's pretty much the details on the vigil.
Who all is going that you know of from family members and stuff like that?
The only one that said that she would be there that I've been told about is Cheryl. The rest of them, they know about it. Malaya knows about it. Daniel knows about it. Janie knows about it. Durwood knows about it. It's all over Facebook. Multiple people have shared it. The groups have shared it. We have shared the poster in almost any larger group chat. If there's a chat out there that only has 4 or 5 people in it, yes, it might not be in those ones, but it has been shared in the chat group the new chat group that has been created and connected to the Facebook page. It's in the old chat group that was connected to the Facebook page, which is now called Love for Jack and Lily. If you're not in it and you want to join us, come and join us in that chat group. And then we also have a smaller group of about 20 that are in Lana's old chat still that stuck around from the first time. So the only one that I know of that is either a friend or related that said that they were coming. And they didn't tell me, but they told somebody else, and that was Cheryl.
Thank you. Sorry, Kent. Kind
Yep.
of. And okay, so decals.
Okay, so decals. These are I call them cling decals. They stick to the inside of your glass, the same as you do with some Christmas decorations at Christmas time. They're $5 each. We will ship multiples if we can get, for the ones going across country, because they're so fragile as far as being destroyed in shipping. I would like to get multiples shipped to, like, say, somewheres that there's a group of people in Alberta or BC or whatever that would like them. Same with the Maritimes. I've started contacting cab companies in the county. I'm hoping that I can get the cab companies to all buy one and put one in their cars, because the QR code that's on it, when scanned, will take you to the Crime Stoppers Nova Scotia missing persons poster and information. And once again, the update that I have to give on this is Betty, who was the one that volunteered to deliver the signs across Nova Scotia, has also contacted me today and she is willing to go across Nova Scotia and deliver the decals. We will do the same thing as the signs. We'll get 15 or 20. But what we will do, like the signs, we either took it to your house or met you somewhere. What we're going to do with the decals is we'll get, and we'll know that there's 15 or 20 to be interested in a location. We will find what would be the best day for everybody in that location to be able to go and pick up the decal. And then what we'll do is we'll post it and we'll message those people and we'll push it that, okay, the Jack and Lily decals are going to be at Drummond Road, Canadian Tire. Look for the Jack and Lily sign, such and such a vehicle. If you're interested, go, and you can either e-transfer or pay Betty there. And like I say, the thing is this is to continue raising money for the awareness campaign. Once we have a conclusion in the case being solved, then whatever money is remaining in the pot, we will take and donate to ground search and rescue. That's the way that we can see it working right now. So if you're interested in decals, and especially in Nova Scotia, and you would like to buy 1, 2, or more, like I say, they stick to the inside of glass. I don't think, or I put it this way, I would advise you not to put on a window that you're going to be putting up and down. I would put it on a stationary piece of glass, because especially the first couple days, I stuck the one on my bedroom window and it fell off 2 or 3 times. But then it's been up there for the last 5 days and hasn't moved. But I would think that if you put it on one of your windows that goes up and down, and you put your window up or down, once you put it down and you go to put it back up, the decal might be inside your door. So I would recommend to put it in the lower corner of your, or upper corner, either of your back window or your passenger side windshield. They're only 3 inches wide, 5 inches high, and like I say, they do have the Jack and Lily symbol on them. Bring me home, or bring me home, or bring them home. I can't remember. Can't read it right now. I'm in the dark.
Bring me home.
Yeah.
Bring me home.
And then it got the QR code, which links you to. And I'd like to thank Bree, because she was the one that created the QR code and then sent it along once we went with this idea.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the info we have. The next step in our fundraising, we're still taking orders for signs. They're slower. We're talking with a business right now. We might have another 4x4 being purchased. They're thinking about it.
Did Charmaine get her bracelets?
No, but we have news on the bracelets and keychains. Unfortunately, Janice's dad had passed away last week. But now she's getting the details with that dealt with, and she's going to we have, I think it's 8 people on the list that contacted us, and all those except for Charmaine were waiting on both bracelets and keychains. we did get a couple people that we gave money back to that waited so long. We did get a couple orders shipped out before Canada Post went on strike. And now they're back on a floating or rotating strike. But the one thing that we are going to do is those people that have waited patiently, we are going to send a couple decals in each package with your bracelets and or keychains at no charge for your patients for waiting. So.
Okay. Charmaine, one day you're going to get those darn bracelets. All I see is always in our chat is, where's my fucking bracelets, Kent? You know, I realized that it was like something that was Lana's thing and all that, you know, from the start. But you know what? Whatever. I'm not going to get into all that shit. What I will say is, you know, for me, I have my bracelets for Jack and Lily. I got my my different decal. Well, it has a UPC code on it as well. Sorry, QR code. And then I have my keychains as well for Jack and Lily. Charmaine.
I seen that.
Yeah, I'm out of patience on there. But anyways, again, there's a lot of things that have been done. Those signs, as I was showing you guys on Google Maps, you can see the one in front of Daniel Martell's place there and stuff like that. I myself had given Kent $100, and not to be braggadocious, but I wanted some other ones to go out there as well, so that we could get signs out. And I really just want Nova Scotia to be plastered with Jack and Lily, and that anyone that doesn't know, you know, that hears about the case, again, just more awareness. Jack and Lily, right? Because you can't kind of forget it when it's kind of in your face all the time and stuff like that. So again, you know, Kent, thank you for everyone that's trying to do stuff for Jack and Lily. Whether you guys have, I know the 6 month is coming up. That's when I'll make do the video with the rocks and the paintings that people have done and stuff like that, on like for the 6 month day. But anyways, thanks for everything that you're doing, everything that I don't really follow this whole thing, and you know that, for this decal side and the vigil side and all that stuff. You know, I know that that's you and whoever else is working on it, but again, thanks for everyone for doing what they're doing for Jack and Lily, being a voice and just keeping it out there, eh, Kent?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And Pictou County wants to know that we're not going to forget about these children. We're going to keep looking for the questions as Nova Scotians and everybody else in YouTube land.
Yeah.
Nothing will stop until the answers come out one way or the other. Everybody has their belief, but when the answers are given, then we can make a donation to Ground Search and Rescue and hopefully help them in future searches.
Okay, to you. Absolutely. 1 second. Just 2 secs there. Oh, 1 second.
And my contact information is in, I put it in the chat at the beginning, but I am again now for anybody that wants it.
Thank you. Sorry, just had to do something really quick in the background. Okay, so yesterday we're gonna go through a few things. So as you guys know, a lot of people keep sending this to me and stuff like that. And you know, Tint had put out a video from the area of Gairloch Road over into basically the area of the neighbor's house. You know, boss man Brad Wong there. And so it gave a clear picture of elevation and all that stuff. So that came out obviously earlier today. So I was talking to Tint earlier today. So hey, Tint is done. Tint is the one that did the video on Wade and stuff like that, right? But haven't spoken to him in a while because he had this beautiful cat named Mimi that he found when he was or adopted or something when he was out there. He had gone back home to Ontario, stuff like that. So I hadn't talked to him actually probably in about, I don't know, about a month and a half or so now, right? Because he just kind of went back home and, was doing his stuff. But he had taken some footage of the Gairloch Road area. And so I know that a lot of people are playing that today. Another thing that Brad did last night which was great, was that he sent a video to show that he could see lights. So I kind of just enhanced that video so that you guys could encircled it on there. Now,
Honey,
what?
somebody there must be having hard time hearing. She wants to know if you can turn on closed captions for her during lives.
No, sorry, it doesn't work like that. They have to watch it after. If
Okay,
I'm playing a video, I can turn on closed caption if
but
it
not
has
when the live.
words.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that comes after. Okay. So I wanted to say this because um actually, do I want to say it or not? Do I want to say it? Anyways, maybe I do want to say it. So I we all know that DT is live, okay? Um, so I'm gonna apologize right here and right now to Brad because he showed me a screenshot from DT's, and I'm quite miffed about it, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. If he wanted to show me saying something, so I made a comment about not being the brightest bulb because obviously the comments were contradictory to what Brad was saying sometimes in chat, to like claiming that I'm the neighbor, but yeah, and then saying they are the neighbor, right? And so one of the expressions I've used many times in my life is, well, they're not the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree sometimes, because obviously I catch that. So I do want to apologize, but I can't believe that actually DT showed that comment of mine on his own live. Because sometimes you have personal conversations with people, because you're talking back and forth. And I'm just kind of upset about the fact that he actually did that, kind of pissed off. So I just let him know that in the thing as well. But I want to apologize because I did say it. I literally said, like, not the brightest bulb. It was because of the contradictory statements and stuff like that. So Brad, just like I said to you, I apologize for saying that on there because, again, it was just one of those statements I do make, but I said it. I just can't believe that DT actually aired a comment of mine on his own live. Like, I'm sorry, but I just wouldn't have done that. Like, when you have private conversations, unless you ask the person if you can show that, you know, what? Like, what the fuck is all I can say about that. Like, seriously, you know, whenever I ask if somebody says something, I always ask, can I use this? Can I use this? You know, but I just feel like that was like throwing me underneath of a bus in a sense. Like, I'll own it. Absolutely. Right. If I put something out there and I say it, I'll own it. But it kind of pissed me off actually that I just was shown that. But, anyways, thank you, Brad, for showing that because obviously DT is live. And I'll have to ask him why he felt the need to share a comment of mine, that was private, but I said it. So simple as that. No, it wasn't because, again, right, I wouldn't sit there and put up a comment of DT's unless I asked him if I could show that. So anyways, moving on. So again, Brad was kind enough, and his wife Mary were in chat yesterday, to send a video to show the thing. So we're gonna go over that, and we're gonna talk about this disappearing Kia Rio, approximately a 2006. That's the vehicle that say the neighbors would have both heard that night but didn't see, right? But anyway, yeah, I'm just kind of threw me off, so I'm just gonna get ahead of it. Um uh, Oh, 1 second. So, okay. Think Brad. Think of it. Think Brad is saying DT is a mutt. If you wouldn't mind saying that from him on there. Um, yeah, I mean, okay, right. I'm not gonna get into the whole part of it, but you know, sometimes we have to remember because sometimes we forget. Um, is that these people, first of all, live in the neighborhood, but they also work, right? And sometimes you forget about things like that when you're, covering cases that people's livelihood get affected, reputations and stuff like that. Now, I personally had heard that Brad was has been trying to rebuild, you know, his life. He knows that he's made mistakes and stuff like that. But obviously, when it's impacted by a huge case that's going on, and yeah, so you guys know exactly what I'm saying about that. Um, Sometimes we just forget that people's lives are really impacted by situations. They come out to try to be helpful in regards to a case, and then they're say past keeps getting thrown back up and stuff like that. Now again, um, each channel is going to do what they're going to do, right? I do my channel, they do theirs. But I actually did want to show you something um, from a friend. I'll share screen for a second. 1 second. Um, this one here. And then I'll say I want to talk about a couple things. Okay, share. So this person, his name is Blaine Nelson. Shit. Blaine Nelson was part of a case that was going on for Karina McClurkin. Okay. 6 years. Her grandmother was fighting for justice for Karina. Blaine's father was arrested for the murder of Karina McClurkin. He was recently released of, acquitted of those charges. Not to say that he didn't do it, but they didn't have enough proof, probably is what it was there. 6 years had gone by, but Karina McClurkin's remains were finally brought home, and her grandmother never gave up. So during the course of that time, Blaine, I remember there was this Facebook post, and Blaine was spewing off because he was angry about something, right? Um, he had messaged me in my email, and I was like, yeah, you can come up, you can say your side of things. So I would say Blaine is what I would call from the wrong side of the tracks in comparison, right? I don't have a record, never been anything, okay? Um, and Blaine, prison time, gangs, he's got tats everywhere. And me and Blaine became very good friends, very good friends. I know he had a past, but I saw the Blaine who was trying to improve himself. And he ended up starting a channel called Extracted Thoughts. He was a really good friend, and he had a past, but I didn't judge him for that past because I was looking at the person that he was today. But Blaine passed away 3 years ago, pretty much around this time. He relapsed. His girlfriend was in whatever corrections because she broke her probation. And
Blaine was found up in the attic, deceased. He was doing meth and whatever. I think it was fentanyl together, whatever it was. Don't even know. But people are so wanting to judge, say, Brad, right? And it reminded me of Blaine. Is that Blaine was not perfect by no means. And he shared, what I loved about Blaine is that he shared his stories from his side of the tracks, stuff that he went through, gave me more knowledge, gave a lot of us more knowledge that were following the case on, what do you want to call it? I guess the gangs, right? Can't think of the Bloods, whatever, all the different ones. This is in Indiana, okay? Shared about his jail time, and same with Andrew Bess, and they became good friends of the channel. Now Andrew Bess is still around, but it just reminded me when people are so willing to judge um, on Brad and this case. All I was looking for out of it all was, were they being like, where this information fit in. I didn't know if the information from the Globe and Mail, right? It was in there. I didn't know if it was accurate. It was just another piece that we heard, but there was nothing to substantiate whether that was true. But why in your head would you think someone's going to come forward that does have a past? And why would he risk that? Why would he even be involved in the disappearance of Jack and Lily? It didn't make sense, right? For me, it's just common sense. If there's no reason to insert yourself, and you know that you don't necessarily like the RCMP, but you're doing it because there's children involved, right? Then that's why I looked him up, talked, once, but that was it, because I wasn't interested in that part of him. What I was interested in was how this was, thank you guys. What I was interested in was what where this applied to Lily and Jack, you know? So when people are just so willing, like, I know I judge Daniel very hard. He deserves to be judged very hard. If that man stayed consistent to anything that he says, right? So for me personally, like I said, I didn't care about Brad's or Justin's past unless it involved something to do with children, you know, that there was evidence to show something like that. But all I was looking for was that. So when people are so willing to sit there and berate, say Brad, um, because of his past and stuff like that, like thinking that because he has a past, that obviously he couldn't possibly be telling the truth. And that's, for me, no. I look for the genuineness, when the information came out and stuff like that. Brad's been in the chat quite often, throughout the time. Um, like I said, back, I got wind. I could just tell by his wording that I was like, I bet you this is the neighbor. Now, at that time, I wasn't sure exactly who the neighbor was, right? Like, I wasn't sure if it was the person that made the Facebook post about, I didn't even know kids lived there. There was a drug party. I didn't know, right? I didn't know his name up until DT started talking about him, besides Kent telling me of, I think, a brother's name or something like that. Other than that, honestly, didn't even know about what his name was, just that posting on there. But like I said, Blaine Big Red, the man that's in front of you there, love him to pieces. Totally the opposite side of the tracks. And he tried so hard to improve his life. Unfortunately, he ended up succumbing to his addictions on this. And I miss him like crazy. Um, he was so sweet. Like I said, we were good friends. We became good friends. He made a channel because he wanted to help people, right? Because of having him on, he wanted to try it himself. try to help with family situations. So I'm just saying, don't be so willing and quick to judge a book by its cover. Like, I know I judge people. I do. I do really fast. Why? In my real life as well. Because if you're bullshitting me, and you're sitting there trying to think that I'm a fucking fool, I'm going to tell you about have a cup of go fuck yourself, because I do not like being played for an idiot. All I'm searching for here is answers for Jack and Lily, right? So again, there's people probably in here right now that have a past that ain't too pretty, right? Or are being total hypocrites and stuff like that. Bottom line is, I'm here for Jack and Lily first and foremost. And if I say something type of thing and it comes out of my mouth or I've typed it, I have to own that. So I'm going to again apologize one more time by saying that I didn't think that you're the brightest ball or whatever my comment was on there. I wasn't thinking that you were some idiot. But sometimes when people are typing, they're giving themselves away because of the wordage that they're using on there. But that doesn't mean to say, like, some people are street smart and there's other people that are book smart and stuff. But anyways, I'm going to apologize for that. And I'm also going to say that, yes, right? Sometimes we don't think about the impact when we're doing things. And they're just reminders to me to improve myself, to be honest with you. And sometimes I'm just kind of a YOLO and don't necessarily always think about things like that until it kind of hits you when somebody's like, didn't see that comment during the live when Brad said that's impacting his business and stuff like that. Until, like I said, it was only when I went back and looked at it, I was like, oh, I never even thought about that, right? At all. I honestly didn't think about that until I went back and saw that. Anyways, Ken, so I'm gonna leave that there. Blaine, I miss you, Big Red. You are one of the greatest people that I come to know. And I miss you. And that's for someone that had a way bigger past than Brad could ever have, to be honest with you. But he was trying to change his life. Unfortunately, it got the better of him for Blaine. But I miss you, buddy, and I love you. Anyways, Ken, did you have anything to add to that, or
Yeah, I do, because I think I've been on here from the time that I started coming on, and I've been asking other channels to consider what they're posting, as because whether it's fact or not, a lot of people, because they see it and hear it, whether it's on YouTube or where it's coming from, people give it a little bit more fact than what some of it is definitely worth. And we've seen that in this case, especially with the AI stuff. Like, you can pick it out from the true ones. And like the fighting, and I shouldn't say the fighting, the arguing on Facebook. I'm not on TikTok. I know there's been quite a few people that have started. I do have a TikTok channel, but I don't use it. So don't send me that you're interested in becoming my friend on TikTok, because you ain't getting a reply. But I asked everyone all the time to take a little bit of time and think about what they say and realize that we all should be on the same team, fighting for the answers in the same case, that none of us really know more truthfulness than necessarily anybody else, because we all know different parts. But Team Jack and Lily, the answers are for them. Whatever you think you believe happened, The judging and the accusations and anything else can come after we find out the answers to where or what happened to these children.
Correct. You know. Thanks, Kent. Okay. So thank you guys. It was very hard to read chat because my eyes were all watering up there. You seen that? I am a very just deep, compassionate person that just truly is not trying to abuse people's kindness and stuff like that. Absolutely not. It's literally about answers for Jack and Lily here. But by the same token, right? I mean, can't control what others channels do and say. I guess I can only control what I do and say. But the goal is to get answers for Jack and Lily for this case. But also to remember that just because somebody has a past doesn't mean they're not telling the truth. Right? So we're going to talk about that today. About we're going to show the video. I'm going to show the video to you guys first. So again, Brad was kind enough to send this video clip from the last night. It was last night, right? Shit, forgetting my days. Yeah, last night. Oh, actually, hold on. Before I get into that, I want to quickly say, let me just bring this up for 1 second. One sec. Image. This is just a side thing. Okay. And okay. So this is Zach Jackson. You guys know he's usually in the chat here a lot of times. He does remote viewing, okay? Now, again, for me personally, I just look for someone's heart. Is it sincere and are they doing it for the right reasons? And so when I'm, like I said, so that's what I care about personally when, when I come across people. Are they in it for the right reasons, right? Are they putting the case above a pocketbook or clickbait and stuff like that? That's just my own personal thing because I'll always do everything for the right reasons, even if people don't think I'm doing it for the right reasons. Again, I know who I am. I don't need to justify myself to anyone. Either you like me, don't. That's like not my problem on that stuff. I'm not here to be this fake personality. I am who I am. I like who I am, but I also don't take bullshit. Taking enough bullshit in my life, and I certainly don't need it online. So that's how I feel about when I'm covering a case. I'm just here to try to cover it, to bring awareness, talk about it, bring out facts, bring out a timeline. But Zach, he's been kind enough to say that he's going to join me for a live next Friday, and that's his YouTube channel right there. If you don't know who Zach is, then again, check him out. Just whenever I watch Zach, he's just you can just tell he's just trying to do things from his heart. And that's what I appreciate the most. So anyways, next Friday at 5:00 PST time and 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. He's out of Boston. So he'll be on there. So again, if you don't know of his channel, but you've seen him in chat, that's who's going to be on with me next Friday night. And we'll talk about it again before, obviously, Friday comes. Okay, so other than that, I'm going to video file. So thanks, Zach, and for, again, getting to know you a little bit, very little, but I do watch your videos whenever you put one out, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. So this is, okay, so this is the video that Brad sent, and again, for anyone that didn't see it, him and his wife were in chat last night. They were, talking, and he was answering a bunch of questions. Actually, like I said, I want to say this. I want to preface this. I had asked Brad about what he was doing in the neighborhood. Why? It was because DT had asked me to. No. What he said was, could you ask Brad this question? And I was like, why would Brad answer this question? Right? Like, meaning, because it's like, to me, he doesn't have to prove himself to you. But anyways, so that was my thing. So he had asked me to. So I just figured, hey, if Brad wanted to answer it, what he was doing in the neighborhood, then DT would know that that was him. And for me, I honestly didn't care because I already knew in my heart, 99.9% it was him. So I didn't really need to confirm that for myself. But for all the people that are believing it wasn't him and stuff like that, you know, then it was like, okay, if he wants to answer, he'll answer. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. He did answer. And he said that he was using his chainsaw. Kind of think he said he was pissing off the neighbors too on that one, but he was cutting firewood 3 a.m. in the morning. Pretty sure he admitted to those tire tracks too. That people were sending. Pretty sure he did, didn't you? I think you did, didn't you, Brad? When I was going back to your comments and stuff like that, right? But anyway, so yeah, he said I'm Brad and I was cutting whatever, right? And so then I said to DT, this he showed it. I sent him the timestamps of when he had said it on there. I guess for his own live today. I guess I didn't know he was going live today, but I guess for his own live today. I haven't watched DT today or nothing like that. I just know that he was. I happened to look and see, but look for Charmaine if she was still live, and I happened to see that he was going live. But anyways, so again, for all the people that don't want to believe it, you don't have to, right? No one's here to lead you to the water and make you drink it. To me, it's just, again, common sense says if you look at any of Boss Man's messages, it was clear he was telling on himself, saying he was the neighbor, and other times using the word they. But didn't get by me on that one. Like I said, I noticed that a few months ago. But it was one of those things he was as well talking about the Kia. But at that point that Brad was talking about that in chat, when he brought it up, I didn't know what car frickin' Daniel was driving. And, I just saw it, but I didn't know exactly what it was meaning. And I knew what it was gearing towards, but I didn't know like enough. And I was kept trying to find out about what car Daniel was driving. And, because you're just trying to eliminate or add or include into your thoughts in the case and the puzzle pieces, eh? And don't get me wrong, I'm ticked off right now with DT on this one. Me and him have been good friends, and that's just like I just wouldn't, I would be like asking before you sit there and throw a private post out there. I like to always ask someone first, not just go, "Oh, thanks, Brad, for a message that was geared towards you that I said back to DT." But anyways, okay. So basically it was at the 14-second mark in the video, and I just kind of circled where the lights are because this is what Brad was trying to show, that this is his right home. And he said basically right where that dead stump is, like and we'll see this on Tint's video, he is like dead line to Daniel's home. So I'm pretty sure that if he's dead line to Daniel's home, and and I don't know which is accurate. Maybe Brad can answer that one. Because in the documents it says 3 to 4 times, but in the Globe and Mail it said 5 to 6 times. So I'm not sure actually which one is accurate for the 3 to 4 or to 5 to 6. On that one, and only because it's one of those things like there is a difference between 3 to 4 versus 5 to 6. So if it's 3 to 4, then okay. Right. But anyways, so if you know that Daniel, right, what other homes are over there? Daniel and then some other neighbor that's like 500 feet the other way that I believe Kent said nobody lives in, besides a couple like in summertime for a couple of weeks or something like that. But don't you think that you would kind of know that vehicle went like right there, especially if it's done it 3 or 4 times and stuff like that? So anyways, so you guys will see where I've circled it for the lights. Okay. You guys see that? Okay. It's quick. Whoops. And you can hear the car. You can hear the car as well. See?
But
see
that's
the.
not the car. This is from last night.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we had a big discussion because Nova played this afternoon. She asked what did we think it was. There was a big discussion in Charmaine before we came here. A lot of the people in Charmaine thought it was a plane, and but I would say either it was last
Oh,
night.
it was last night. It was very crystal clear. It was
Yeah,
last night. Yeah. It was just to
but
show.
the noise that's oh yeah, I
Oh, the
understand that.
nose.
That's I'm agreeing with you.
You're right, because the noise. There was a part of me. I'm like, is there a helicopter flying? There was a.
No. Well, a lot of people were trying to think that this was the night of May 1st. And
Why?
they were saying, well, is that a car? Like, you know what I mean? But he went out to show you this last night
Yeah.
for his sight line to Daniels. But
Yeah.
his sight line would be a vehicle because he could see the lights. But he's not close enough at all to see who was driving. So it's the noise of the vehicle multiple times that he heard back in May 1st. Right?
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was a lot of people in the videos because other people picked this up today from you. And I had to
And
laugh that they thought that this was back in May. I said, no,
right,
Sonny
'cause
asked them to
they
go
don't do their
outside last
fucking
night
homework.
and record it.
Like,
Like,
right. And like, no offense, but it's kind of like when people grab screenshots of Daniel Martell, originally from Charmaine, and all they did was take the screenshots, never even knew anything about the content.
yeah,
And I mean, I don't know how crystal clear it could have been, but this is where people twist shit. Right. No, this was from yesterday. This was just an example that he was trying to show that he could see, that he can see from his line of sight, from his yard,
like,
Daniel Martell's home. And there was a vehicle going by. He got, one going by, and then again to show. So, yes. So, anyone out there to this video, okay, don't spread any bullshit on this one. Okay, this is just from last night to show that he has a line of view right in front to Daniel Martell's house and that he can hear the vehicle. That's exactly what Justin was talking about. And you can hear the sound of this vehicle. So, yeah. So, let's, like I
whatever
said,
that vehicle was last night, it just so happened when he went out to take the video, either that plane flew by or I also say,
what plane?
what?
What plane?
The
Was there a
noise
plane?
that's in the noise that's in the video from last night.
Yeah, you mean,
It
I think that's
could
the vehicle.
what?
That's like, to me, that's the vehicle. I thought it was like all I have to do, you know what? I'll just ask him. Let me just ask him.
But that's what I mean. People were thinking, like, trying to figure out what the noise was. To me, yes, I'd agree that it could be a plane, but it also sounded like the tractor trailers coming down Mount Tom where the Jake brakes on.
Like, okay, so let's listen to it fully, okay, guys? Let's listen. Okay. And 1 second, I'll be here. I'm still here. Okay. So, I mean, I'll just wait for him to answer. And then this is like a slower mode, but
Like, there's not that much of a hill there on their road for a vehicle to be lugging like that. That is either in the air or it's coming from the highway, which
Doesn't sound like a freaking plane. Well, I guess if it was a little Cessna.
Well, that's
It's
what
not-
they were thinking, was like a single engine plane. But I don't know why a single engine plane would be out that time last night. Most of the jets that go over Pictou County to use the local airport are like a business style jet, because the local airport was bought by Sobeys, and they use it to fly their executives in and out of from Ontario to have meetings in Stellarton, because that's where the head office is for Sobeys.
Mhm.
But it
Mm.
also sounds like it could either be a tractor trailer climbing, or
Right? No, oh yeah. Well, I mean,
because that's
no,
echoing. Whatever it is, it's echoing in the distance.
yeah, the car that he's showing. He said it was the car. Do you have helicopter in Canada?
Yes, we have helicopters, but
I
they're
was just
not
gonna say,
usually.
what kind of question is that? Do we have helicopters? No. Yeah, we just sit there with our little propeller hats and frickin' get around. Seriously. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to the first one. One second. Just listen.
Yeah, no, yeah, I would say that it's not a Jake break either. I would think that it would be. It sounds like it's in the air there last night, whatever it was.
I don't know. I'll wait for that.
I can't
Okay.
imagine. I can't imagine a loud car. The only way that is a loud car last night is if they did it, because I know Brad's truck is loud. He's got a Dodge half-ton Hemi, and he's got a big exhaust on it. So if he really wanted to try to create it, and if he went down the road with his Dodge while his wife was recording, then that could be a loud car last night. Other than that, I'd say it sounds like a.
Do me a favor. Just take over chat for a sec, please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sounds like a plane. It sounds like something in the air to me, the way that it's echoing through the valley. Because you got to remember, he's only about 750 meters. Like it's less than, or 750 feet. It's less than a kilometer as the crow flies. So I would think, like I say, unless he took his truck down the road so he could tell you and show you that. I'm just telling you what they were thinking in Charmaine's video was a plane. I know in Nova's video this afternoon, there was lots of people that thought it was a plane. Some people thought it was a loud vehicle. But the main point that I think we were wanting to stress is that don't worry about the noise. That's not the noise that he heard, and not the same vehicle that he heard on May 1st. And that's right. It doesn't matter because they came forward and said that they heard that. I'm not saying that they're lying or anything like that. Yes, but we know that they wouldn't have seen the person that was driving the car, which he never stated that he could see the driver. But he heard a car traveling, like I say, in the Globe and Mail. It was 5 to 6 times with a 20 to 25 minute return time. But in the documents, it showed that it was like between 4 and 5 times, and that it was the Justin heard it at 1:30. Now, whether that was the first time, second trip, third trip, Brad didn't distinguish between. Because for those of you, if you think that that was Daniel's car last night and he went out and did it at the same time, yes, the airport is in Trenton, on the other side of Glasgow. It's about a half an hour's drive from Daniel's and Earth's place if you go by the highway. Tint, as far as I know, is back in Ontario, Marie Antoinette. And like I say, the Trenton Airport used to be a public airport. But it was bought by Sobeys. Oh, it's got to be probably 25 or 30 years ago now. I don't know the exact year, but I know I was only a teenager, I think. And because it needed the runway needed to be repaved and a whole bunch of work, and it wasn't like a big airport, so it wasn't like people flying in. But so Sobeys bought it, and their little jet that they use for the executives that travel in and out. Now it does get used some by other private planes owners. Last year, once during the Quebec Major Junior playoffs, one of the teams from Quebec, it was bad weather, and one of the teams from Quebec that was coming in to play the junior hockey in Glasgow, they used the airport here and landed here, played the game, and then flew back out rather than driving from Halifax to. Yes, Christine. He went out last night to show and prove to Sonny, because Sonny was asking, "Can you show everybody that you concede to Daniels?" Because we were questioning, and I was questioning exactly that if he was on, because the night that he said he heard this, he was out on the ground working on his car. So he wasn't upstairs in the second or third story of his house, and with only 15 feet of elevation change according to Google, it would be hard to distinguish how he could see over the trees. And so that's why Sonny said, well, if you get a chance, can you go outside and take a video? And that's what he did. And it just so happened, 2006, was it? They bought it. Paul Quinn. Yeah, I knew it was back in the early 2000s when they bought it. Because, like I say, and at that time, all of Sobeys' head office for the country was here. Now there's only certain departments here, and because they expanded out west, they have quite a bit of their offices also in Ontario.
Thank you, Kent, for covering that. Sorry, just some background stuff. And I wanna do a correction because I listened to a little bit of Nova's live today, so I just want to make this clear. Um, she said that I did not ask what people thought it was. I clearly stated Brad went outside and recorded the video of the vehicle driving. I have no idea what Kent is talking about. Not at all. Or did anyone else state that it was a plane? I'll be going back through my chat to see the conversations. Right. So, and that's not to
The
call
discussion about the plane was in Charmaine's.
isn't
We were
Charmaine.
talking about different
Yeah.
vehicles in
Yeah.
Novas.
Only I was gonna say though, because I said I don't recall Nova saying stuff like that. So when you said it, I did too. Kind of was like, because I don't remember that. So bottom line is again, let's get it right, people. Okay, we're not here for bullshit. We're just here for, like I said, answers for Jack and Lily and truth and stuff like that. Um, and so yeah,
No, Eric or Enric, no. I didn't know the family beforehand, and I'm not good friends with them.
yeah. Kent honestly doesn't need to justify himself to that anymore. To be honest with you, okay, a lot of people have accused Kent of a lot of different things, but again, give receipts just because there's someone named Heidi Corbett, and everyone thought I had asked Kent about that a long time ago. Charmaine was like, Kent, what the fuck? Who's this Heidi Corbett? Blah 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 blah, and stuff like that. Again, I don't want the bullshit and the noise. What I want is answers for Jack and Lily, and that's it. That's my concern about this whole thing with the case. It's like, okay, what's true, what's not true? Okay. Now, as for what did Belinda just say? I was on the road and you can see where Daniel lives. Hi, Joyous. Brad did what you asked. Thank you, Sunny and Brad too. Yeah. You know,
Thank you, Sunny and Brad too. Thank you.
thank you, Joyous, for that super sticker on there. I'm not here. I just want to say this first and foremost. I ain't here to play games. I ain't here to try to use and abuse people. If people want to speak to this channel because they understand that this channel really cares about Jack and Lily, then thank you. That's what I care about, right? And if we amongst the actual facts, or as close as we can get to the facts of the case, to have a better understanding of what's true and what's not, right? Daniel does himself no favors with all his bullshit and all that stuff. So to sit here and ever try to understand or believe in what Daniel says. Charmaine, you braggadocious over there. Member for 35 months. Okay. So again, obviously it's not like we're going to be sitting there, doing any arresting and stuff like that. But if there's one thing we can do as people together, is work for truth and answers, and not all this bullshit that goes on in these Facebook groups with your bunch of bullshit speculation. Why don't you have some sort of receipts before some of you people that don't have brain cells put out that crap? Right, Lori McNutt, you nutty bar? Seriously. It's like, who sits there and goes, oh, you know what? I feel like I just need to share this bullshit. Like, what brain cells did you lose along the way in life's journey? That someone, oh yeah, so let's just put out this bullshit about Hayden and that he's been drunk and he was there Friday and all that stuff, and it's just bullshit. What speculation is one thing, but then there's just, having brain smarts here, okay? But the whole point is that between family members, between Daniel, it doesn't matter, between neighbors, between witnesses, whatever, you're just trying to understand the truth of it all. So that's all I seek, is just the truth. Now, whether that ever happens, it doesn't mean I'm sitting here, going, oh yeah, I'm going to solve the case and stuff like that. No, what I'm looking for is truth. That way we can understand what happened with Jack and Lily, right? Like if you're fed the truth and the truth doesn't lie, right? If you're telling the truth, Daniel, then it should never be this complicated. But you and Malaya have turned this case into a crock of shit just by your own actions for two children that are missing. And you guys should be embarrassed to be even considered or be called parents because this is such a joke underneath your care that these children disappeared. So fuck you both on this shit. I'm just calling out the shit as I see it. And if you had nothing to do with it, great, nothing to do with it. But you know what? Doesn't still stop you from being shitty parents. Because obviously these children, why we're sitting here 6 months today, is because of your sorry asses. So look at your own fucking backyard before you start going, oh, poor me, poor me, poor me. Right? Same with Janie. Shut the fuck up, Janie. Okay? Don't want to hear about this boo-hoo, poor me syndrome shit. Sorry. I'm just tired of it. Let's get to the truth. Hi, Rena. Like, I'm tired of the bullshit, right? So don't take Brad's video that he sent last night and try to spin twist it around into something from May 2nd and stuff like that. It was just clearly a video that he took last night when his wife and him were in chat. And I asked him, I requested, and that was it. Okay. And then he did it. He did it. And thank you so much for doing that. Because again, it's just to give people like the people that are trying to say like, oh, there's no way he could see this. Well, yeah. So now you got people that didn't believe it. Now you guys can shut up about that. Okay. Because he can clearly. So now, Kent.
Yep.
Okay. You still here? Sonny's on her read shit. Sorry, guys. I'm honestly, this case, I'm tired of the bullshit of it. All we want is answers. And if there's witnesses or family members, because you know what, you guys, the bottom line is that there's tons of cases, okay, that are solved by information because of true crime, okay? So maybe, just for instance, hypothetically, maybe Brad does have a piece of information. Maybe Justin does have a piece of information that they don't feel is important, that they feel like they've told the RCMP what they know, but maybe there's still something that they maybe didn't say. Maybe there's a family member that has a little gold nugget that they don't realize is a gold nugget, right? So again, keep being voices for Jack and Lily. Say what you know. Anything that can help. Answers for Jack and Lily. Don't, please. You know what? Kiss my ass, Malaya, too. On your whole, don't be afraid to be voices for Jack and Lily. Ha! That's the pot calling the kettle black, eh? The same person that literally could not do a freaking voice recording for her own kids and spells her name wrong. Sorry, not sorry. Okay? But don't tell other people to be voices for your kids when you can't even be a voice for your kids. So shut the front door on that crap. That's what I'm talking about. Even if they're the most innocent, guiltiest person in the world, you know what? This is not how parents act that literally want the truth. So bullshit. Right?
And that's all I've been trying to do for 6 months. I didn't have to talk on Daniel because you and Charmaine did a great job. So I felt that it was my job, that there's two people involved. And yes, there was 3 on the property. I know that. And she may know after the fact. But the 2 kids went missing from in the house. So where were they?
Exactly. So let's look at Tint's video. Now, Kent, are you still wanting to stay up here with me, or do you want it to go down, or do you want to stick with me?
No, I'll watch this because I only seen part of Tint and Nova today.
Okay.
Or wherever it was I seen it. So I'm going to come back out and watch it.
Okay. All right. So again, as you guys know, Tint invested in following the case now. Oh, do you need me to boot you there?
Nope.
Okay.
Not unless you're going to boot me. I said I'm going to stick around and watch Tint's video.
Yeah, can you watch it though? Well.
Yeah, I figured that out. I figured how to back out without going out and coming back in.
Okay. Oh,
Finally, finally.
okay. Drone footage. Okay. So we'll just go through some of this here. I'll make this screen big and then I'll hit play. So again, Tint, regardless, thank you, Tint, for everything that you have done to try to bring awareness to the case, to try to find answers as well. Shut down the music. I don't want really that playing. Okay, so where are we here? Oh, okay. So you see, I wanted just to point it to you. Can you see my cursor on the screen right now? Or no? Probably not. Can you? Can you guys see my cursor? I don't think you can.
Yeah, is it up above
Wait.
the first white?
Yeah, you guys should be able to see my cursor here, right?
Yeah, you're flipping around in circles
Okay.
there like a bumblebee.
So some people have already watched this. Absolutely. Okay. So this is that kind of open area right here is where 1407 Gairloch Road is, right? Where Daniel Millay and Janie were living. And now it's just Janie and Daniel. And then if you guys look up to your very left up top, okay, that's where we're talking about where Brad Wong and his wife live. And he showed the video to show like basically that he's right in line, right? He's right in line of Daniel's home. So that's what we're going to be showing. But this is to give you, well, I mean, at the bottom of end of the day here, you know, I haven't watched this full video of Tints yet, but he's kind of zooming in on the properties and stuff like that. So I have no control over what you guys are seeing besides that's the Martell property and Mackenzie property right there. Mhm.
Yeah, Nova slowed it down this afternoon so she could
Yeah, I
keep
might.
up with the narration of it.
Well, I was gonna say, so there's no. I'm just gonna put it on playback speed, and we'll go to 75. We'll just do it like that. Okay, so again, as you can see, right here, right, this is where Brad is showing again the direct angle. But the reason why this meant a lot to me is because it was really hard from a Google point of view to understand the elevation, but this gives you a clear look about this elevation between Brad's home and Mary's home, and the elevation about them being higher because I know when I was looking at this road right here, it goes down. So the perception was that they were lower than Daniel's home, but that's actually not the case. They are actually elevated. And you can see that here now because this road goes down, but then it goes back up and they are elevated. And again, it's just about putting out facts, eh? Like, meaning, bottom line is, it's truthful that his home is elevated. And it's truthful that you could see a car, right? On his video that he showed from his own place. Now you have to remember, we're talking about May, like well, even though, what are we in now? Like there's a lot of lush green trees out there, and there's a lot of not so lush trees out there, but there definitely is a lot of pines and stuff like that. But bottom line is that, like he said in his statement, that he was able to see lights, and that, I mean, again, we know that there's only Martell's property there, and the other one is down the road. So I'm pretty sure that if he's watching this vehicle 3 or 4 times, that he can see it turn in to it. And again, and then we'll just keep watching. Okay, now, and the KOA is like further down. So now he's going over into, say, Brad's home there. Quite the zoom in there. I mean, I don't know how I feel about drones and what they can do, to be honest with you. Right?
Big Brother's watching.
Well,
Especially in the States. It's not so bad yet in Canada, but we're getting there.
Right. And so like from when he was doing it yesterday, he said he was, chopping wood outside as he was like watching the live and stuff like that. Right. But for anyone, just to say for anyone, please don't go stalking these people. Right. It's one thing to do a drive-by and it's another thing just to be a lurker. That creeps people out, right? Don't be doing that shit. Don't be scaring people, family and kids and shit like that, eh? Okay, so again, we see, well, I think it's gonna show it better. But anyways. So coming back out, we see the home. Go back a second. No, play it a little forward. God, even this is too fast a little bit. Yeah. Come on. Zoom back out. There.
Right there.
Perfect. Okay. So again, you see the elevated home and you see it looking right directly in line, right? Okay. Now, so in saying that, the KOA is the Lorda Park. Okay. Oh, which reminds me, I do want to say this. So I can confirm, okay. Oh, there's Boss Man. He's in there. Boss Man, was that just the sound of the car? Did you already answer that in here? People are trying to say there's a plane or a helicopter sound or something like that. Was that simply the car? Do you know if anyone?
Yeah, what was the noise last night?
Oh, there we go. Kay said it. Okay.
Did you read that, Sonny?
No, because I'm when I'm behind the screen, I can't see chat at all. So do you see where he answered?
Just let me go.
Oh, 100% Sunny. Okay. So I'm not sure if he's answering about the vehicle now or something else that I said. Did he? So what's Tint doing? He's working. He's not, he's paying a little bit of attention to the case. Detector gadget. Go, gadget, go. Do. I'm just not sure. If you could just say it again, just to make sure that we're clear on this, Bossman, because I can't, Brad, because I can't see the chat when I'm looking at this video.
I'm in chat now, waiting for his answer to see.
Okay. And
the noise that appeared in your video last night, was that a car, or are you saying that was Daniel's car last night?
No. That's not what I'm asking him. That's not what I'm asking him.
He came back that it was the car.
Pardon? Yeah, but
he came back and answered yes, the car. So I was asking him in reply to the yes, the car.
Okay, let's not muddle this up. So I think it was just a car going by that he caught yesterday, just to show us that he can see lights like he was talking about, right? Not that it was Daniel's car like yesterday. My question to him was, during that video that he did for us yesterday, that sound in the background, is that the car sound only? The car in the video is the noise. Okay, see, cleared up. Thank you. So there's no UFO, no spaceship around, no freaking birds flapping 100 miles a minute. It did kind of come off a little helicoptery when I was listening to it, but that's why I was like, wait, what's that sound? Because I didn't listen to it as clear yesterday, like when Melissa said, oh, I can hear it in the background. I was too busy focused on the lights. But then when I played it back today, I was like, what's that? But it's the car. So that's all I wanted to know. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. But I do want to confirm this. Okay. Is that yes, that Justin was at the KOA Lorda Park. That's where it was, where
that's where he was staying the night before.
Right. So DT had that on his show, and he's the one that put that on his show about certain areas and stuff like that. But I just wanted to say that I can confirm that Yes, he was at the Lorda Park. And that, yes, he did hear a vehicle. He didn't see a vehicle, um, but it just comes about knowing sounds, right? That did a vehicle at 1:30 during that time, did he hear a vehicle? So again, confirm again, yes. Okay. So as for that, the question was posed to me. I just want to say this separately. The question was posed to me. Did you know that the vehicle disappeared after the incident? Right. And so the person I was messaging, I was like, nope, I didn't know that. And so then I went and hey, said, Brad, do you know by chance if that vehicle that you're saying is that Daniel was driving was a Kia Rio, um, if this vehicle disappeared? Um, and he had said that I don't want to mistake his words, but we'll just say that the answer was yes. So
But
this
wasn't it
whole
parked at Earl's?
well, that's just it. Okay, so apparently this vehicle was owned. The owner of it was Margaret, I guess. I think is that Ron's wife's name, Margaret. So
Don't know.
Ron's wife. Okay, so Ron's wife. Anyways, that this Kia Rio, right? So was it registered ever in Daniel's name, or was he just using Uncle Ron's vehicle for a while? But now, so the question was posed: did you know that this vehicle disappeared after the incident? No, I didn't. Right, and that's the thing is if Daniel says no, it's not at Earl's. Well, again, there's the other car, right? So well, you know what? We'll come back. We'll come back into this in a bit. So the bottom line is that what happened to this car? Because for me personally, again, and sorry, Brad, now that this is where you are the brightest bulb on the tree on this one, okay? But when you are a neighbor of somebody, you are going to know the sound of their truck and their vehicle. You are just going to know it because you hear it all the time. We're talking about a small area of people that live in this area. You're going to know when someone's revving their freaking engine and be like, that, say, Dick down the street is revving his engine again. And you're going to know if Daniel's vehicle has a muffler that's, whatever, exhaust or whatever that's going off and it's loud and blah, blah, blah. So that's why a couple months back, Boss Man, Brad, said, like, what about the Kia Rio? Gotta get that twisted in my head that you were driving, Daniel, type of thing. And it's just like at the time I was like, oh, is that what that car is? The one that's at Earl's or whatever. But anyway, so yeah. So again, and so Brad had said, I asked him, I was like, well, what year was it approximately? And he said about 2006. Okay. Which I got pictures of 2006. And then I showed him it and he was like, yep. And then again, it was about that Ron, his wife or whatever her name is, like that they had it first. So it sounds like it was a give me perhaps car, but the bottom line is that car disappeared after the incident. So Daniel, where's
But
that car?
but when?
What do you mean? After the incident?
Well, it was parked at Earl's. What was it?
No, that's just
Um,
it. That's just it. Daniel has another car. Daniel has his other car, right? The black Subaru one, right? It's more than one vehicle here that we're talking about. And that's
but
where
they're both not going to sound the same.
no, but the other car, now I'm just going by what I'm like being told, right? Does that make it 100% true? No, just right. But the thing is that the other car was something that was purchased after potentially after the children went missing, right? Which could have been the broken down one that they're speaking about that needed to be fixed up. At
Well, I'm
Earl's
sure.
place.
I'm sure we probably would have heard about that if there
No,
was another car bought afterwards. So
well, like,
which car was it that
okay.
family says that he drove this week?
Well, that's where it's confusing because
Because
there's
it
this.
can't disappear and then drive to Truro
Well,
too.
so let me put it this way. And I had asked Taylor today as well. I said, Taylor, can you tell me what vehicle it was that you saw at Adam's house, that was there? And so you know what? I'm gonna come back to this. I want to come back to this. I want to play this video. Don't want to get sidetracked too much yet because I'll come back to this after this video. Okay. Because this is the whole point of what the fuck, right, is going on. Right.
But what have we
Yeah.
got left to watch in the video?
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Detector Gadget. Sorry, but again, please, you can be in here. And if you can't be respectful, right? Then leave, okay? We're not in here to try to attack Boss Man while he's in here. We're not here to attack Daniel from the Junk Turkey show on that stuff, those personal attacks. Okay? So knock it off or leave, or I'll make you leave. All right? Simple as that. You got one warning. Mods, okay? If anyone's just being totally ignorant with their comments, they can fuck right off and get out of here. I'm not in the mood for that crap. All right, let's just keep it focused on Jack and Lily and information instead of the personal attacks. If you have some and you're rude about it, keep those to yourself. Okay. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say there. So enough. Okay, so let me go back to this. Oh, hi, Linda. She did this yesterday. Thank you. Thank you, Linda.
Linda has the 8457 super chat. £10, you're awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, British, on there. You did that yesterday too. So thank you for being generous and kind and stuff like that. You guys know this channel. I never ask for donations. If people do donate or want to give super chats because they enjoy the channel, enjoy the information and stuff like that, so be it. But this channel does not ask for donations. If I do, it's going to be for a specific thing. And it's very rare. Okay. Again, I could do a lot of things if I wanted to, but that's not my main goal in life is not seeing how much I could pocket money into my account. YouTube pays for ads. Thank you, YouTube. But thank you, everyone, for their generosity as well. It's appreciated, but never expected. Okay. Now let's go back to this video. So thank you so much again for that, Linda. Okay. Oh, is that Tint?
Yeah,
Oh,
Tim,
oh, hey, Tint. Tint's got little Mimi in that picture. Aw, Mimi's such a gorgeous cat. Did you ask Wong why he didn't want police to search his place? Oh yeah, did he ever answer that yesterday? I see, because it's hard to keep up with chat. Tint. Boss Man, since you're in here, did you answer that yesterday? Because I remember asking it. Did anyone ask why he didn't let police search his place? You talked about his yard. Yeah, I'll let them or the wife answer that question on there. So, because I wanted to clear that up too, because it's kind of like some people are saying that they were able to search the property, but not the home. And other people said that he didn't allow a search to happen. So, Kent, if you happen to see it in chat, let me know. Okay.
well, I'm waiting to see the rest of the video that you're saying, because I think we seen what the point of it was, but
Well,
what
again,
else are you pointing out of the video?
behave.
What,
Behave. Okay. This channel is not your resting place to sit there and think you can say whatever you want. It's not. For talking about the case and you have an opinion and stuff like that, right? But come on now. Let's be adults and not play in the sandbox. All right, just be respectful. Okay, you can have your own opinion, but just talk about the case. Talk about those things. Okay, there we go. The whole property was searched, and not once was I asked to search the house. Okay, there you go. Thank you. Right? Again, it's up to anyone else. You guys can take it with a grain of salt, or understand that perhaps he's just telling you the truth, right? But it's up to you guys. I'm here just to try to do my own thoughts and thinking, whatever you guys want to think. But thank you for answering that, because again, it's been talked about, and just again, it's just about clearing stuff up, right? Who is Boss Man? Boss Man is Brad. Boss Man is the neighbor. Okay, one of the neighbors that spoke out. Okay, so let's get back to the video, right, Kent?
Yep.
Okay. 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 Make it bigger. All right. Again, there's no sound. This is Tint's video of him showing the Gairloch Road area, from him, Daniel's place, whatever, to Brad's place, and what it looks like, just kind of like the area in general. Okay. Marco, stop. Like, seriously, stop. Marco Polo. Okay, so there's that, palace there in the sky. And that fence was not finished off. So I don't know why Daniel said it was. Like, why are you lying about stupid shit, Daniel? That fence was not close to being finished. Well, maybe it would be close if you, right, worked on it the rest of the day, but that fence was not. Okay, so again, there's the home elevation. So it just really comes down to, could Brad see Daniel's home from where he lived? And the answer is yes. Right. So my thing about all this, right, is that because of where the blanket is, okay, hold on. That is that path, right? That's that trail that if you followed it around, you could go to the pink blanket area for that. Mhm. All right. Detector gadget, have a cup of, get out of here. Stop. Ban user. Get the fuck out of the channel. Don't have time for that type of bullshit. It's not a plane. He said it's not a plane. He said it's just a vehicle. Okay? We're just looking for truth for Jack and Lily, okay? Sunny, what was the date of Tint's drone footage? I missed that. I think it was August. He said he took the footage in August. I think August 17th, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, honey, Mimi didn't walk. I want to walk that way. Always on my shoulder. I know. Gorgeous cat. Gorgeous cat. Don't forget to hit the like and share for Jack and Lily. Right? Thank you, Wolfie.
Wolf emoji. 316 super chat. 13 Canadian dollars and 99 cents. You're awesome. Thank you. Justice for Jack and Lily.
Appreciate that, Wolfie. You send me a lot of stuff as well. Thank you for doing that, guys. Yeah. Appreciate that. Thank you. I'm gonna hold on. We're gonna continue watching this, but I do have to take a moment to say this. Okay. I just saw a message. Okay, that said that DT was putting me down on his live tonight. Okay. In the background, a few minutes ago, I was talking with DT from the Drunk Turkey Show. Okay. So, yes, I did highlight comments that were said, right? But by the same token, I also said, please don't do personal attacks on DT because he is my friend still, right? Like, meaning this case, and the reason again why I'm not going on lives for him is because people can become very toxic. And this case is, me and DT have different views on this case, 1,000%, but by the same token, like whether it's Charmaine, whether it's,
And
sorry, go ahead.
what?
Oh, it came through your thing as well on
I
there.
said whether it's Charmaine or Kent, we
Oh,
have different
right.
opinions.
Absolutely. Now, although I might not agree with it because it's my right to, thank you, Janzi, for doing that. We all have our own thing that we're doing, okay? But if there's one thing that I don't want to have happen is I want to see quickly who got those. Kay, you received a membership. Brennel. We'll let you down. Oh, Tint. Tint got a membership. Deborah did. And Neuro V did. Okay. Now, so thank you, Janzi, for doing that. So make sure you guys thank Janzi for gifting those. But if there's one thing that I don't want to have happen here, is that people are pitting me and Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show. Sorry, guys, it plays every time. Against us or our friendship. I already talked to him in the background. He apologized. I apologize because yes, people were sending, I guess, him these messages showing that I was showing, like when I highlighted them and stuff like that, right? And it made Daniel upset. And yet, by the same token, sorry, guys. Thank you, Jancy. That goes off every time. So she did 5 memberships. So it's going to go off 5 times. So that's your moment to chill back and get rickrolled for a second. Okay. Yeah. We never said there was a party. Hi, Mary. Right. I don't know who put that post out. It was an anonymous post. And the neighbor said that they live like 500 feet away. Right. So I don't know whoever put that post out.
And there's no neighbors within 500 feet.
Well, there's the one with the.
But they're not there full time.
Right. That's just it. Right. And again, we're just taking the information. There should be one more going on this one. But so anyways, well, I'll wait for the one more to go off. And just like I said, I'm not here to play games. And I'm not here for this to become so toxic, right? Like, I understand if Drunk Turkey Show has his point of view and what his thoughts are. It's his channel and he will run it his way. And so, yeah, he showed a screenshot. He was upset because I had shown some screenshots. So I guess he was like, well, fuck it, right? But I just talked to him because I always highlight things. But by the same token, those same people that were sending him those highlights, right? I said out in this channel last night, please don't do personal attacks on Drunk Turkey. If you guys want to say something about the case, fair enough. But no personal attacks. Now, I can understand why Boss Man, because he's the one that's, obviously getting outed, if you want to call it in a sense, or his background on the Drunk Turkey Show. So I don't think there's any blood loss there between the two. So people say comments, I highlight them and stuff like that. In no way or shape or form am I trying to ever take away from, Daniel. If you guys don't like him, that's fair enough. But to me, he's been a good friend of this channel. We've covered cases together and stuff like that. And again, Daniel's my friend. And if people don't like that, that's too bad, but he is. Okay? He's
If
covering a
you don't
case.
like his coverage, there's plenty of other channels out there that you would.
Correct, right? I can't control that, and I'm not going to try to. I don't have a right to, But what I appreciate about Daniel, even if I totally disagree, and we have totally different opinions on this, is that do I think Daniel is a good person, right? Him and Jaime and Big Blue, a great group of men, okay? Now, again, does it mean I agree? No. Again, watch whoever you like. But that's what I'm going to say about that. So go ahead, try to sit there with your bullshit. Just like someone, Haley said that I was sharing my stuff with her or somebody or whatever like that. Have a cup of go fuck yourself. Show the receipts on that then, right? Show the receipts on that. Okay? Because people will try to keep doing shit like that. They'll try to keep fucking sabotaging you. Again, they don't care about Jack and Lily. They just want to try to fuck you over as a creator because they don't like what you say or that you block them and shit like that. I don't play those games. They can play those stupid games. I don't play those games. So it's just like, yeah. So if I did, to the person that said that to Haley, again, send her receipts then. Send her the receipts that I would have sent to you because I know that that's not going to be true. So have a cup and go fuck yourself. But you little fucking frauds and you little fucking fakes, make it about Jack and Lily and stop making it about your stupid selves and your stupid egos and all that shit. And so all this drama, like I said, you know what? I'm just kind of one of those person that goes straight down here, get the fuck out of my way. I'm coming through Jack and Lily, right? Answers for Jack and Lily. And there's a lot of people that have spoken to this channel, whether it's through Kent, Charmaine, or myself. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for understanding that this channel is not about bullshit, but it's about the focus of Jack and Lily. Facts, speculation, always. Anyway, that's what I gotta say about that. Okay, so back to our regular scheduled program. Thank you, Janzi, yet again. Tint, you Tint comes in and speaks, and next thing I know, he gets gifted one and stuff like that. Anyways, again, so gonna say this again. Me and DT, okay, friends. Okay, do we talk about cases and stuff like that? Absolutely. Does he share everything with me and I share everything with him? Absolutely not. Right? Because you have certain things that you're just trying to, of course, just you want to keep people believing in you and trusting you, right? But do we talk about the cases and stuff like that? Yeah, at times. And then could be weeks that go by. Don't even talk to each other, right? But they're those friends that you can talk to at any given point. So just gonna say that. Sunny, when Sunny says drama, it fills up my love cup. Eggnog will fill up your love cup soon enough. Okay, back to the video. Do, 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 do. We have a wind warning. Ain't no freaking windy shit here.
We had wind all day.
Did ya?
Yeah.
Okay. When I started this, I'm actually not sure what Tint's showing at this moment because.
Well, he was just showing the lay of the land, the elevations, the property. That's why I wanted to know what we wanted to continue watching it for. Because I thought you made the point that you were wanting to about the elevation and.
Well, that was the point. I was just trying to see what else was going on here. I was like, where the cameras are?
Do I know where the cameras are?
No, not do you know where they are, but
I know where some are.
No, I was talking about in this particular video of Tints.
No, like I can't say okay, pinpoint here.
Right. So
the only camera that I know the actual physical location for is
There's
the one
there's
that was the one that
okay.
was right next to the very first one they got. That was right next to the command center, and because on the Matheson Road,
Right.
because they set it on dispatch when
Right.
they were getting ready to tell everybody where they could come park. They
Right.
said, "We see a trail camera here. It's
Yeah.
pointing towards the road. Can we go see if there's a name on it? Because in Nova Scotia, you have to have your name on your camera in case
Right.
they want to contact you. And search the owner to see if it's working, if they can get the information off of it."
Right.
The other
Okay.
one is the 8, but what people is forgetting, and if they go back to the dispatch audio, there's that one single camera that was there. There
Mm-hmm.
was 7 cameras we know from Miss, the one out in Glengarry Station. I always forget
Right.
her last name,
Melissa Scott.
Melissa Scott. But
Yeah.
then there was 2 other neighbors
Yeah.
that was reported after the May 17th search weekend to
Mm-hmm.
have cameras
Right.
in the opposite direction
Right.
of the railroad tracks.
Right.
One owner had 3 and one owner had 2, but we never ever got the names of those people that I know of anywheres.
Yeah.
All I know, because they said that there was a total of 13 cameras
Mm-hmm.
besides the dash cam video. So that adds up.
Mm-hmm. Um, exactly. Now, um, I'm just going to go back to Viewpoint. So, Tint, thank you very much for posting this. He said he was doing it for someone in particular, and then he felt like he just might as well just upload it and stuff like that. So I was like, perfect timing. Like, how is it that literally, like, this is where you don't question it sometimes, because how is it that, and maybe the person was asking for this reason, but here we are talking about the neighbors. We're talking about Brad, and we're talking about Justin. We're talking about cameras and stuff like that, and the view. But it was the viewpoint I wanted, because for me too, when I saw this, that's exactly what I wanted to see. Like, it was a daytime view in a sense, so that we could see the elevation and that Brad can see from his home. So now I want to show viewpoint again on there. Okay. So this is it again. And you guys know, again, this is the home of Danielle Martell, right? And it's coming right across to in line. And this is what Brad was showing in his video about why he could see the lights. And so, again, that's a car sound that you are hearing. And he said yesterday that he could actually hear sometimes cars. Where is it? To Concord Road, which is over here. He said sometimes he can hear cars as far as this. Now remember, right? If he lives here and he's saying sometimes I can hear vehicles as far as there, but we're not talking about that. But I just wanted to reference that because he did say that yesterday as well. But so we heard about a camera on here, right? Now, thing is that this is my thing, right? Kent, do you know on Lorda where a camera might be?
On
Because
Lorda,
yeah,
well, I don't know if the cameras were in place or not. Because we didn't see no signs in the first news footage that come out, but there was cameras in there on the building, like, because there's a couple park buildings in there, right, that they would host stuff in, and I would imagine they would be on the outside of the park buildings
yeah. And
is where the cameras would be,
okay. But so my
but
thing is
that's
this,
speculation.
yeah, and I was gonna say, and by the way, Daniel Martell, when he comes in, he doesn't come underneath pseudonames. Okay. There was a fake Daniel account yesterday. There was a fake Brad Wong account yesterday. Again, these people are sick and twisted. Okay. Like, these are the fucking idiots that just like to, instead of caring about Jack and Lily, they just want to fuck around and try to pretend that they're somebody else. Okay. So those ones got blocked yesterday. So if you guys see anyone besides Daniel Martell Okay, that's when you know he's in the house talking. Okay, other than that, he's not coming underneath some pseudonym. He never has, and I actually believe him with that. That when he comes in, that he always comes in underneath of his own name. So if you guys happen to see a Daniel speaking or pretending to be, or fake Brad Wong, again, honestly, just let me know and I'll freaking boot their asses, because I can easily go to the channels, right? We all know that Daniel's channel will take us to a Pokemon if it's the true Daniel. We also know that Boss Man's channel will take you to Boss Man, even though it depends how the thing comes in, but it was like 1134. So we knew that was him. All right. So that's why I knew the other account was just a bunch of bullshit, because anyone can make whatever name that they want up. Okay.
That
Then
should really be changed after this case.
I
You know
know,
that.
I know. Mhm.
And I was thinking, like, how would people do it? But I got thinking, like, everybody, when you want to register your account, either to go, whether you're a creator or a viewer, when
Yeah.
you create your name to go into YouTube or TikTok or whatever it is,
Yeah.
if they're worried about information, because I'm not asking for their name, phone number, address to store that, but you should have to prove that you're a real person, and that could be easily done with today's technology through facial recognition. And then that way, when you're on there, your real name is there. And if you want to say something, you stand behind it or get the hell out of the kitchen because
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And Ron, Mexico. Okay. Show me your receipts that Junkyard Wong lied to the police, right? If you're going to say that, then back it up with something, right? Okay, actually, I can see you're just being a jerk. So go away. And I'm not here for that type of shit. You know, come with receipts then to prove that he lied, right? Again, people can sit there and say all they want and whatever. Anyways, I booted that person's ass. Okay. Again, don't have time for it. I'm not here about how many subscribers I can have. I'm here to cover cases. Okay. If people
when we get
can't
back to the car,
shut up over there.
I'm just asking. It's going to be my bedtime soon, and
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So on this one, my thing about that with the cameras is okay. So if Brad's in alignment with Daniel's home, and that the sorry, what is it called?
Laura,
Lorda Park is over here, right? And then I think DT was talking about reflections of light and stuff like that. Unless there's a camera like right around here, or something like that. I'm not going to say it because Lorda's over here, but where would cameras be, right? So I think Brad would know, though, if he's watching it and it's gone 3 and 4 times, and he would know that the car would turn here, because the next home is way over here. But
but
his car,
Justin was the one that said that when he heard it at 1:30,
right,
it would have went away from him down to the tracks,
right,
and then it came back to him and was
right.
going up, and it sounded like it went up Road, which is almost right across from the furthest driveway going into Laura Park, because there's 2 driveways that go in. One has the gate, which is only not very far from Daniel's driveway. And then there's another one up further. And then that road that goes off to the left there is Lairg Road.
Where's Lairg is
See
way high.
where when you go to the top of the screen right here and you get that Y?
Yeah.
Down, 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 down,
Hold on. Down. Yeah,
down
right
a little
here.
bit more. Down at the Y.
I can see it right here. Lairg Road.
No, way down.
Way
Down right
down.
where Laura is. Yeah,
Okay.
keep going down. That Y right there.
Yeah.
See, like Daniels is there. Now go up from Daniel, right? You're at Daniels, right? You're going to come
Daniel.
out of Daniel's driveway and you're going to turn left. So you're going up.
I just showed that.
Whoa, right there. That Y, that road
Yeah.
to the left is Lairg Road.
The one
The
that says
property to the
Matheson.
right,
It says Matheson.
the first one is Matheson.
Right.
The next one is Lairg.
Right.
That one right there. That
No,
should be Lairg.
No, Lairg. I just showed you it. It's
So
way up.
what's that second one then?
Doesn't say.
Oh,
Lairg Road is way up here.
okay. Well, still, he's if he's in Lauder Park, it's going to be closer to him
Mhm.
to here going up to Lairg Road than it would be for Bossman. Is what I'm trying to say,
Mm.
right?
So, yeah.
And Belinda has said that she has seen when she walked in Lauder Park. I don't know how
Mhm,
far she went in, but
mhm,
she seen a camper in there on the Saturday morning when she went up to help with the search.
mhm. So, again, sound travels.
Yeah.
Um, I'll explain that one a bit more on another live. To be honest with you, for that one, for meaning for the information that we heard about the 1:30 time and stuff like that. For that, but so going back to this though, um, okay, there's no cameras that are working here. Okay, this home is what Brad referred to when he said um, that the camera right here near the railroad tracks has like 4 or 5 cameras, and those cameras are not working. Okay, so again, the whole thing was it possible that Daniel could come out of here 3 or 4 times and not be seen by cameras. And hence why the word substantiated, because there's no actual physical evidence to say that what Brad's claims are or Justin's claims are can be substantiated by
Video
video.
evidence.
Right. And that's the key point, is that if the cameras aren't working here, show me, right? And there's no other really homes around. This one's abandoned, I think. I don't know. There's a vehicle in there, but it's been there the whole time. But either way,
They might
like
that black house, the former Getty's
yeah, but
property, may have a camera on it. I don't know.
there's not.
I
There's light
didn't see it when
bulbs.
I was out. But
No, I don't. I mean, the house looks very dilapidated, to be honest with you. But there's light bulbs. You can see white light bulbs. But
yep,
I'm
there's
sure.
lights on in the house. Yep, that's
Right.
why I
So
say they might have a camera because the power is
so
still on in the house.
yeah, right. So the only space we're talking about here is here. The blanket is found here, right? Boot prints are here, and where is it? Sorry, I gotta go back. Sorry, right. Where am I? Is it here? Okay.
Yeah,
And then we have Ron's home, and sorry, Earl's home and Ron's home, right? Now, this is where it was said that the person that actually owned the Kia Rio, would have come from off of Ron's property. So the both of them, right? According to my information, both of them have stated that I one person stated something to me and then asked me about, did you know that the car went missing after the incident? And I was like, wait, what? No. And I remember Boss Man saying back a couple months ago about this whole Kia Rio. And again, like Boss Man, I'm like, this is where I'm saying,
but
right?
Sonny,
What?
I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, um, the vehicle that Daniel was seen to be in this week in
Right,
Truro
right.
was said Kia Rio.
No, no, that's not what was said.
Well, that's why I was asking about the car and
Well,
how could it disappear? Because in the chats, that's
right.
what they said. They said Daniel was in Truro
Well,
with a Kia.
well, I was going to say, right? So this is where some confusion lies, and I agree, because and I'll show those pictures in a second here. But the thing is that Bossman literally lives right on the elevated hill from Daniel. He's lived in there for I think he said 8 years or something like that. So Daniel has moved back, so about let's just say 3 years now, right? But anyways, at the time obviously this vehicle would have been seen and heard, so he knows probably exactly what vehicle Daniel was driving, right, at the time. And so where did this vehicle go then? Because if this vehicle, say, was owned by the Ron's family over there, and this Kia Rio disappears after the incident, and then you have to go like, okay, so what the fuck, right? Another black car. And then it's one of those things is when I'm talking about it, if I have a neighbor and you guys have a neighbor and you live in a small space like this, in a sense, would you not fucking know what vehicles are around or hear them and know their sound, right? And know what kind of vehicle they have. So if Brad's saying that, Daniel had this Kia Rio vehicle, and then another person is saying, did you know that car, actually disappeared? And then I go back to Brad and I'm like, hey, Brad, did this car, like, whatever, right? And then they're saying the same thing, like that it wasn't seen for a while after and stuff like that. So where did it go? Did it go to Ron's place? Right?
Wasn't that Earl's? Because that's the
Well,
one that was.
no. Well, that's just it. No. And here, so let me come back right now and let's just go to these pictures. Image file. Okay. So I showed Brad these pictures, and because he said 2006. Okay. So I'm just going to show a couple pictures. So this is a Kia Rio 2006, right?
Yeah.
And right. So
Junk.
go ahead.
Junk.
Junk. Well, maybe it's the best junk. Let's just say Daniel was probably given it freely to use, right? Probably
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily registered underneath of his name, right? We all know that, trust me on this one, it's from Indiana case. People, right, drive vehicles all the time, even if they don't have registrations and stuff like that, because they can't afford it, or maybe they have DUIs and they can't afford blah, 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 and they'll still drive anyway, right? It happens all the time. We know this. Okay, so so that is the Kia Rio, and this is it as well from a more front view. Okay, this is not Daniel's car that I'm speaking about. It's an image pulled off of Google. Make sure we got that. All right, it's an
One's a
image.
sedan, one's a hatchback.
Right. Is that what that is when I
That's
did
why
that?
it's a different shape. Yep.
My bad. That's probably why I was asked, is that a hatchback or sedan? Okay, so what is this? When someone says it's a sedan, what does that mean?
Just 4 doors with a trunk.
Okay, 4 doors with a trunk. So let's ignore that picture then, and then go back to this one.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. That's how much I know about cars. All right, just saying.
Here
Just
to
saying.
help.
Just saying. Okay. Now, so there's this car, right? This is the Kia Rio car, right? That Brad is saying that Daniel was driving. And again, a couple people are saying that like this car just disappeared on there. And so wait, what's going on about a dog? Sure. What's going on there? Is there mods in chat besides Streamlabs? Yeah, just mods. Just what to do with if there's any sort of stupidness going on. Seriously, time people out. Give them a warning. Knock it off. Okay, so let's go now to image file, and then there is. Let me find it. Come on, I know you're here. Okay, this vehicle. Okay. Now that one is what Kent. Remember, we said it was like
Subaru Impreza.
Subaru Impreza.
Subaru Impreza.
Right. And that's what Haley said that she saw in town, and that somebody else had said that too. Whoops, I'm not sure if I was supposed to say that, but anyways,
Oh yeah,
so
that was the big news in the chat this week, is that car was seen in Truro.
right. Now I know somebody else posted it as well about that. Okay. Now, might have fucked up by saying that Haley told me that as well, but sorry, Haley, didn't mean to. But anyways, bottom line is that this was supposed to be the vehicle, right? Now, I asked Taylor. I said, Taylor, remember that vehicle that you saw at Adam's house? Because Taylor was talking about a black vehicle that Daniel had and stuff like that, right? And so I said, and she said she believed it was this one. Like, not that she was concrete, 100% solid, but that she believed it was this one. Again, another person that doesn't know about cars. Now, you guys know that I was showing that key picture and stuff like that of the keys, and not the, like, I didn't believe, like, when I had, first of all, did it, Gemini AI, it was saying, like, like it was a alert lock type of thing. Like a car alarm thing you turn or whatever. And all I wanted to know was whose car was it for, right? And that was really just my big question and stuff like that. Right. So this is the car that, again, is during when they were at Daniel's house doing interviews or whatever. So this is the car that I believe was at Earl's house getting right, that needed to be fixed. I don't know for a fact. I don't. Okay. But all I know is that if I'm hearing Brad say that, no, Daniel, you were driving a Kia Rio, right? Basically, what happened to that vehicle? Then you have to question that, because the point is that if someone's saying, or two people like are saying, like, what happened to that vehicle after the incident? Yeah, Daniel, what happened to that vehicle after the incident?
Can I say one thing, Sonny?
Sure.
I would bet you that this car
Yeah.
is a 5-speed before the Kia is.
The Kia is a 5-speed as well.
I'm not saying it can't be,
Right.
but without being able to see either one, the Subaru Impreza,
Yeah.
I would pretty much bet on being a 5-speed
Right.
compared to the Kia Rio. If a
Okay.
Kia Rio was standard, whoever bought it when they bought it was probably ordered it in standard, because most of them are automatic.
Right. Like, I mean, I probably believe that this is a 5-speed as well, to it for sure. But my thing is this, like, I'm just trying to look for about Jack and Lily. Was there cameras that would have seen a vehicle? I don't think that there is cameras, and that's why they couldn't substantiate it.
And what I'm trying to say is that there's cameras with videos appearing now. That I don't know if that camera could be used to verify Brad's details or Justin's of going to the tracks and turning around, because the camera that I know of is a little bit beyond the tracks. And that camera has been a Ring camera, and there's 2 or 3 videos popping up in the chats this week showing like other vehicles in the daytime, like it wasn't at night. But I'm just saying that
what track?
by the railroad tracks, past the railroad tracks, going away from Daniel.
Going the opposite way. Like, okay, so hold on 1 second.
No, going towards the tracks.
Hold on. Chill. Okay. So I got the map up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got the map up. Obviously, the choo-choo tracks are here. Okay. So this is the tracks you're talking about. So
yeah.
What videos?
From there's a camera down, and like I say, I don't know where the house is.
Right.
You'd have to go down and see if there's the first possibility of a house would be next. Keep going down a little bit. What's that there? Is that a house in there?
There's a house here.
So all I'm saying is that direction after the tracks, there's a Ring camera video there's at least 3 different videos floating around Facebook chats.
Right, of course, Facebook chats.
But
and yeah.
that would be like, that's not going to be pointing on the tracks to be the camera to be able to confirm or deny.
Right.
Like, that's one that's not going to substantiate it, right? I'm not saying that. I'm
Right.
just saying that there is videos showing up of a ring camera, which is on Gairloch Road.
Right.
So, couple those other roads,
Yeah.
like the side roads, like where Ron lives and Earl lives. I don't know if they go right out to the other.
Well, that's my I mean that's still
So
my
there,
point. Go ahead.
so there's not necessarily anything right at the tracks,
Yeah.
like pointing towards the tracks to confirm, but
Yeah.
there may be something beyond the tracks.
Yeah. And yeah, it doesn't look like there's many mods in here actually. Shit. 1 second here.
I don't know how to kick anybody out, so I'm in there, but
Yeah, I know. On there. So I can't really. It's hard for me to pay attention to chat when I'm doing all this stuff, guys. So, put a big red stop sign if there's somebody that's just being a fucking tard. Okay, on there, and then when I see it in chat, I'll come back and look. Okay, so my point is that regardless, okay, I get what you're saying, Kent, and those are just useless. So I don't give flying f about any cameras that don't equate into this particular area. Whoops,
but
get off.
what I'm saying is they may not be able to substantiate Brad and Justin's vehicle traveling,
Right.
but they may be able to pick up a vehicle if they go further, right? Like Brad in his first statement,
Hmm.
when Lindsay came out with it, said that it was 5 to 6 trips,
Right.
taking 25 minutes a return trip or so,
Hmm.
right? So you're going a hell of a lot further than those tracks,
Hmm.
either on Gairloch Road or you're turning up another road if you're traveling for, like, it would only take you 3 minutes to travel from Daniel to the railroad tracks. People
Yeah,
have
but
said a 6 to 10 minute walk, depending on who was the walker. So you'd be able to drive that in 3 minutes. So if he was traveling 25 minutes, that's 12 to 15 minutes out.
20. Well, I was gonna say, I honestly, I don't know, right? But I can't. Sorry, I was halfway listening to you on this, but I got what you just said on the last thing
Yeah.
on there. But my whole thing is, regardless of anything, if they said something and they heard a vehicle, one heard it multiple times versus the other person that heard it one time.
Yep.
Is there's cameras in this section that would have caught the vehicle? And at this point, no, there's
We
not.
don't know. I have to say we don't know, though.
Well, we don't know, but we're not stupid either, right? Meaning that if the police never, like, there's not going to be two people that are going to come forward, right? And then sit there and put themselves in the middle of an investigation and sit there and two people. If it was one person, perhaps I could see maybe, like, okay, let me just look at this, but then you have two people, right? But like I said, so maybe there is, but again, don't you think that if two people said this, that there's no cameras there because there's just simply no cameras, so they couldn't substantiate it? Not the fact that they're lying, but they just couldn't substantiate it.
I agree with that totally. But what I'm saying is beyond that.
I don't care beyond that. That's all I wanted. Well, because
but the statement.
Go ahead.
But the statement said that it could have been traveling up to 25 minutes away. Now, Justin didn't say that. Justin said that he heard it. It went to about the track area, was stopped for 2 minutes, and turned around and came back. and that was the only trip that he heard. Well, he could have dozed off to sleep after that, or turned his music up, or anything, right? Maybe he was outside when he heard that trip,
What was it?
and and then he
Was it,
went in the camera.
was it maybe
Camper.
25 minutes? So like it's like he left, went and did something. Things take time to do, and then came back, and that meant 25 minutes, right?
Well, that's what we were talking about way back when this first came out in Lindsay's article, right?
Mhm.
It was roughly that it was 20 to 5 minutes away. So what I'm saying is, although there's no cameras in down to the tracks,
Mhm.
if the vehicle was stated as to been traveling 25 minutes away, they would have went down that road and possibly found another camera further out.
Was that in the article, or is that just something we talked about? Because I don't recall it being in the article.
That
I
was in
recall it.
the article. That was in
Was
the
it?
article that Lindsay first put out. And
I have.
remember, we were trying to get her to give us the name of the neighbor, and she said she wouldn't confirm her source, just called him the neighbor. And he's basically the closest person, other than if Justin was in the park. Brad would be almost the closest person living to them full time.
Thank you. I'm here Sunday morning.
1 second.
A few more though due to time difference. Red heart emoji.
1 second. Is that Miss Dog Lover? Hey, Miss Dog Lover. I'm here, Sunny modding. Thank you. Miss Dog Lover, if you see any tards, you know what to do, okay? If they're being just totally ignorant and whatever, disrespectful, you know what to do, please. Could do a few more, though, due to time difference. Thank you, Miss Dog Lover. Okay. What was I? So going back to the whole reason I was talking about this still was about the car, right? Is that, like I said, we don't know because obviously we haven't seen any footage, and the police came out with that statement about there's nothing to substantiate it. And I remember on another channel, I think DT sent it to me, and she goes, nothing like unredacting people's names and then throwing them underneath the bus. So basically, you're unredacting information. You're literally blasting two people's names out there, RCMP, and then you're going, but by the way, there's nothing that, that's showing that to substantiate this or a key element,
Yeah,
to the
neither confirm or deny that
Right.
it's happened.
Right.
Yeah.
But let's just fuck a couple of people over though, and that so it's like let's unredact this part, and then we're just gonna say this. It's kind of.
But I think that they would say that more than likely in saying that, and I know this isn't the way that they put it, but in my mind, that it's Brad and Justin that have nothing to do, like that they don't have nothing to do with the disappearance of the kids, but they had no video evidence of what their statement said about a car traveling on the road. But what I'm saying is, if Brad's first statement of them traveling 25 minutes, don't matter which way they went, there could be other cameras that we don't know
Well,
that they've gotten.
There could be, but again,
And then now there's videos popping up from those said cameras.
right. And the
And
thing is, right.
Cheryl was the one that posted a couple of them.
Is that the one from the Drunk Turkey show?
The big 5-ton truck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Daniel DT put those out, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying Cheryl posted them in one of the chat groups.
Right, but they had nothing to do They didn't have anything to do with this particular area. And even when Daniel was showing that on his live, and I talked to him about it after, because I went and looked at every darn property to match it with that property. And I said to Daniel that like that's not the area of where that picture is from. And he said, I know. It was just one of the things, and he said it was further up, right? Which would have
Mm-hmm.
meant it was like further somewhere up here to show a vehicle, but I know what's going to happen here. They're freaking tards of the earth are going to sit there and try to manipulate some videos or try to try to make it seem like there was stuff. No, even when Daniel was talking and people have sent him whatever information, I remember him drawing his little circle here and wondering about this section here, right? This particular section, like what we were talking about. And that's just it, right? We don't know 100% where cameras were. I asked Brad, he said there was 4 to 5, and if so, it would be at the house after the track. Okay, so those ones don't have working cameras. Okay,
Yep.
so then where else could there possibly be a camera between this to a blanket that clearly was regardless? Like, how is it that a blanket that is in this garbage can, that piece, regardless, ends up over here? Now, Daniel is constantly blaming Haley all the time for pretty much everything. And, that they're basically planted it, and that Cheryl said that the blanket was on the railing and stuff like that. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
But how did a blanket that was in the garbage here? And again, the stories aren't even aligning there. Get over here in a sense. And then Daniel says that it wasn't there in the morning. I was down there with my uncles and whatever. And perhaps it wasn't. Perhaps it was a freaking side thought for Daniel that, oh my God, like, let me just go fucking throw this blanket there, to distract and make it seem like this. Maybe it was him or his mama or Justin or whatever on their ATV doing it. Who knows? We don't know. But all I know is that my own personal opinion about this is that we have a neighbor that would know the sound of Daniel's vehicle. So he would know the difference between the one vehicle, meaning the Subaru, versus the Kia Rio, because he's lived there long enough. All these people have lived there for years, right? The McKenzie family, all that stuff. So my whole point was trying to figure out, okay, is there cameras here that could have captured it? Because it doesn't mean that Brad and Justin are just bold-faced lying about it. It just means that there was nothing to substantiate about it. But then we have 2 missing children with a blanket that's down this road. So
Well,
again,
I'll tell you one person that might have a photo of the car at Earl's.
who?
Be Lindsay.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Because she was down. I'm not saying that she did take a picture, but she might have, because she was the one that did the reporting on Daniel's car being at Earl's broke down, wouldn't pass. Like that, there was something wrong with it, that it wasn't on the road driving. In that first story, right?
Yeah.
So maybe she snapped a picture.
Don't know. Because we were looking
Because
for
I know when I called her back, like I asked her, because it was supposed to be blacked out windows, and that's why, to me, that Kia, if you can bring the Kia back up,
Mhm.
now it all depends on how long he's had it, but the Kia doesn't have blackout windows, but the Impreza does.
So you want me to bring up the Impreza?
Well, yeah, see how it's got tinted windows on the side? See how they look almost like black? That's
Well, they
because they have
do.
the privacy tint. But if you go to the picture of the Kia Rio, there's no privacy tint on them.
Yeah, but that's just a car off the internet. And in all fairness, that's the side, like, we're not even looking at the side of it. That could just totally be to our eyes of how it's being shown that it's darker than what it is.
But I thought that picture, you overlapped that picture into Daniel's driveway?
No, that's a
No.
picture. in Daniel's driveway.
Yeah. So I'm saying that is Daniel's actually Subaru Impreza, right? It looks like it has the blacked out windows on the side. But if you go to the Kia picture,
Yeah. 1 second.
you can see in the side windows no problem. But you're saying the Kia picture is just taken off the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't know if it was blacked out or
Yeah.
anything.
No, that's what I was asking, is if that,
Right.
if
You
you got
know,
rid of the other one that we clarified it wasn't. I thought that was the image you said
I
from the
mean,
internet.
so as we're talking about this, right? Because this is just right. This part is really just speculation, right?
Yep.
In a sense, but it's kind of like, again, and this is where we all have difference of opinion. From my own perspective, I look at the fact of, would really somebody, because they have a past, insert themselves into a case because they just, want to tickle their pickle type of thing?
No, they're inserting their stuff in the case, Sonny, because they think that they have information which is relevant to the case. I agree, totally.
Absolutely.
But what I'm
But
saying,
wait, you keep cutting me off and you're not letting me finish my damn thing first, because I was literally going to go on my little spiel there, but you keep cutting me off. So I can't finish my story if you keep cutting me off. So
go
stop.
ahead.
Thank you. That's what I thought you said. Okay. So my whole thing was this, is that for me personally, is that the neighbor would know exactly the sound of Daniel's car. Absolutely. He would have seen Daniel's car to know it was a Kia Rio. Absolutely. So for me, it becomes about, does it seem realistic and does it seem, plausible that that is true information, right? That two
Yep.
people have heard this, that somebody is not going to insert themselves, chances are, into this. Do people insert themselves? Yes. Do I think that Brad Wong inserted himself into this case because like I was saying, tickle his pickle and something like that? No, absolutely do not. I don't think that Brad Wong would even want the RCMP near his place, let alone the freaking search and rescue and all that shit. But again, now, like he said, he was doing it for the right reasons. Do I believe that? I do. Do I believe that Justin was doing it for the right reasons, giving in the information? Now, and these people, regardless, whatever, okay, they were neighbors, but they weren't friends, right? That they might have known each other a bit, but that they weren't like friends. And so, because of this case, at some point, are they going to be talking? Absolutely. They did. Right. And that's when Justin, even though Brad didn't say it in his own statement, but Justin had said that Brad had told him, like it was Dee's car or whatever, Daniel's car. Now, again, whatever to that stuff. My whole thing is, there's a blanket. There's Uncle Ron's place down the road there. Uncle Ron's place was talked about on Janie's shit. And so I can't help it. I can't help but question this vehicle that's said to have been Ron's wife's vehicle first. And then Daniel was driving it. What happened to this vehicle? Is it plausible that a vehicle was heard by these two, which I believe there was, but they can't substantiate it. But I also want to say another thing. Don't for 1 second think that the RCMP don't know all of this shit, because they do. Does that mean they're going to come out and tell you about all of that shit? Because
No.
they're not, right, because they're not here to be our fucking best friends. They are here to solve a case of Jack and Lily.
Do we
So-
know? But what I'm saying is, do we know what day
Mhm.
that? Because this wasn't the day the kids went missing, was it?
No. This was, I think, in August.
This picture here was in August.
Correct.
So what I'm trying to say is, was it this car that needed some fixing to get put on the road?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it the Rio, and the Rio was parked at Earl's?
Not at Earl's. Right. I know what you're saying, but I think that this was the car that was parked at
Parked
Earl's.
at Earl's,
And this
needing the
is the one
mechanical repairs.
that got fixed. And hence why Taylor had said that it was in June when Daniel picked it up, and she said that she believes it was this vehicle that was at Adam's house. So I believe that after Malaya left, no fucking vehicle for Daniel, right? One's off the road, the other one, the Kia. Let's just say my own words here that the Kia Rio has been hidden, right? Because of the fact of whatever. Let's just
Connecting the two, yeah.
Right, exactly. So where is that car to this day then? Like meaning, but the thing is that
There's like 3 or 4 junkyards down the road.
right. So it's not like that. It's not like that Brad wouldn't have said to the RCMP, like, no, he was driving a Kia Rio at the time, because I remember the car, seen the car, heard the car, not particularly that day. Well, meaning for the seeing the car. So I think that this is the vehicle that was at Earl's house. And when Malaya left, he needed to get some fucking wheels or whatever. But what happened to the Escalade thing? There's
What?
because it doesn't
They're
have
they're saying the Escalade is broke down, but you want me to tell you what's honestly wrong with the Escalade? In my opinion,
why they can't afford it.
they can't afford the insurance to put on it.
Yeah.
And it's already hot, and he didn't steal it. When I mean hot, is he already got stopped on it in the road as once. Daniel is like a burning piece of wood. They'd be watching him almost every move he makes, if not every move. And when the Escalade, and this is what I hear, that one of the reasons why Janie didn't want it is because it's too big and flashy of a vehicle. And I said the same thing in a chat last night. I forget whose chat or whose video I was watching at the time, but I said, well, the vehicle that he has now that everybody's saying is broke down is an Escalade. And somebody came back and said, oh, an Escalade, Daniel got money now? And I said, no, the Escalade isn't anything other than a name. And I said he only paid $2,500 for it. And now it's either broke down, but I would say that it's more than likely, if he pulls out on the road in an Escalade, not everybody drives an Escalade around Pictou County. So if the RCMP or police or whatever seen him on the road again,
Yeah.
it would be just a matter, and they were good enough from what I hear to let him get it just towed home this time. He didn't have to pay the big fines that would be associated with it, except the tow bill. So it's sitting in the dooryard with no insurance on it yet, and the plate's not attached to it. So he takes the plate off and throws it on another old car, and away he goes.
Mm-hmm.
But it was stated a few weeks back that Earl was letting him use his vehicle to go visit Meadow. So I'm wondering what.
Oh, because yeah, wasn't it stated that he was borrowing Earl's vehicle or something?
He was
that?
taking Earl's vehicle to go to see Meadow and Turl. So I'm just wondering what vehicle Earl has, and maybe the Impreza is what Earl lent him, and that's licensed and registered, so that's why he's driving that. But there's just, in any time, and this is going to be my last thing for tonight, it seems like in this case,
Yeah.
anytime that we get a piece of information, it asks and then raises more questions than it gives answers.
Yeah.
right?
And and that's just it, right? Right. And again, this case is pathetic, to be honest with you. It's about two children, Jack and Lily, that need answers. And the biggest bullshit is coming from Malaya's actions and lack thereof, and Daniel's,
Overactions.
inconsistencies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And right. And the thing is that, as a parent, as a person, just someone that's following this case and trying to bring awareness, it makes you so angry because these kids deserve so much more than this bullshit. They deserve the truth. So I'm not here to try to protect anyone in the sense of, you know, um, anyone. It just becomes about, who's being truthful. Where is the truth? Where does the truth lie? And it's just my fight in myself for knowledge about what happened to Jack and Lily. And again, the more people are speaking out, right, the more awareness it can bring to be a voice for Jack and Lily. So I'm not looking like there's no need for me to go think that Brad Wong or Justin are these pedos or these people that are trying to harm children. What I'm looking at is, does what they say make sense? And when Justin's came out as well, then that was another person to corroborate. And then I think to myself, okay, so there probably is no cameras because I didn't deem these two as lying about this. So, but I was trying to still understand, like, okay, so 3 or 4 trips, 5 or 6 trips, distance. Then he said in hearing distance and stuff like that. And then you're just trying to kind of piece it together to what makes sense. Okay. There's nothing that's come out, right? There's nothing about anyone claiming that reward. There's nothing when multiple people are involved in something, right? Unless it's the people that are protecting themselves because they're family and they're protecting themselves. Okay, nothing else has come out to show that they are being hidden somewhere. There's always someone that's going to have leakage when there's too many people that have knowledge of it. So what do the police have to go on? They have some what I call sparsely digital data, information cameras, and lack thereof. So my personal thought is that the RCMP need more evidence, that they need more evidence, and that evidence would probably be bodies that they could find. Now that's just my own personal thoughts, because when I'm looking at, they keep saying and they keep putting that out there that there's no stranger abduction or family involvement type of thing, right? They're classifying it as the same. Whereas Daniel was like, no, if it's family, it's what? No, it's not. It's the same thing. So they're putting
Abduction is abduction, whether it's family or.
correct. Abduction is abduction.
And abduction, by definition, is taking something by force or without
Unwilling,
permission.
right? Yeah.
And then that gets rid of the abduction. But anyways, good live. Remind everybody, 7 p.m. Wednesday night, October 29th, Jack's birthday, 6-month candlelight vigil. Get your flashlight, sit in the dark with us, watch the video. We won't take up your whole night. And Sunny, if you want to live stream it on your channel, I know Nova asked today, not a problem.
Yeah, I won't. Like I was just thinking about it. I work till 5:30 my own time, so that's like 9:30. So I'll have to. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so I'll have to like send me the video when it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. But sorry guys, we're just a totally different time zone over here. 4 hours difference.
Yeah, but we will make sure that they get the video, the ones that want it. So, alrighty. Have a good night.
Thanks, Kent.
Night, everybody.
Someone just said, how well do I know Nova Scotia? Besides, I felt like there was lighthouses in Nova Scotia, and it's a beautiful part. I don't know shit all about Nova Scotia. I know the only thing I know about Nova Scotia is from this case and from what Kent has been telling me, or things that I've learned along the way. Other than that, I'm from the Vancouver West Coast area. Never been to Nova Scotia. I've been to Newfoundland. That's pretty much it. So I hope that answers your question. for that. So Kent, the reason why Kent was coming on the channel is because he seemed to have a lot of knowledge, and he was the one that was always giving us some insight, because he's literally whatever it is, 20 minutes like from Daniel's house and stuff like that. So someone that's been around the community for a long time. Hold on one sec. I got a drink and cough. Be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, sorry, not sorry, really. Sunny. So yeah, I hope I answered that question. My niece's name is Haley, but it's with an I. Henry, probably doubt it, to be honest. Maybe. Never say never. But I don't have any plans to hop on no plane and head off to Nova Scotia and, drop kick Daniel. buy him a bucket of KFC while I'm there and force feed it to him. Sorry, no, I don't have any plans of that at all. I'm just here to cover the case, talk about it. If it ever happens that way, if I lived in near the area, absolutely I'd be over there. But I don't. I live a whole freaking West Coast, BC province away from Nova Scotia on there. So I give a lot of my time to this case, and but no plans to travel. And if I am going to travel, it's going to be to frickin' England with my husband, or to some hot destination somewhere on there. We have our own plane. Well, unless, of course, Travis is going to send his own plane over, Okay, what else? I mean, again, the point of this live, let's see here. Plunder, yeah. The point of this live was really just to talk about this Kia Rio. And again, I mean, if Daniel's going to deny it and say it wasn't, first of all, I'm not going to believe any of that, okay, at all, because I just don't believe in what Daniel says anymore. Now, I don't think it would be too difficult. Well, hold on. If it was underneath his uncle's name, then obviously it's not going to show up in the registry under his name, right? Anyways, I need to find out more answers, because whenever there is things that are going along, there's always more questions. That is true. But I'm just trying to look at what happened to Jack and Lily, right? Now, the thing that has led me down my own thoughts and path is because of the actions of Daniel and of Malaya, and just the fucking strangeness of it all, right? Sunny, can you recap the Rio for us? Well, I mean, the bottom line of the Rio is that Brad had said, and he said this a couple months ago, like Daniel, what about the Kia Rio you were driving, right? Now, at that time, I had no clue, what vehicle Daniel was driving at all whatsoever. So I saw the comment, but I think that was a live, and I know Marie Antoinette, but that was a live that I said something like, well, message me, right? Like email me, da-da-da. Never ever got an email, right? So, I just kind of, was just watching whenever Boss Man would talk, and, realizing that I wasn't saying anything, but that I felt like he was the neighbor because of his comments. And then when he started speaking up a lot more, course, it catches my attention because to me, again, there was things that he was incriminating himself, meaning that he was the neighbor, and there was other things he was saying where he was trying to use the word they. Now, I felt like he was trying to use the word they because he was trying to make it sound like he was third person, but then there's other comments that would say like, thank you, Sonny, for believing in me, and and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, you are so the neighbor, you are so him. And so anyways, so Brad had said that Daniel was driving a Kia Rio that night. Like that's the car that he knows, right? Now, the car has been kind of confusing because we've heard different things, and we've heard that there was a black car at Earl's that needed fixing up and stuff like that. But we never heard of the Kia Rio, but we didn't really know what car was at Earl's. And then there's this car here, the one that I showed, which is in the Impreza. So the bottom line is that although I just showed a video that Brad can show, doesn't mean it's Daniel's car because it's not. It was just him taking a video, which I'll put that back up on screen, actually. But my thing, so it just becomes about, even if they're not able to substantiate the fact that on camera about these two people hearing a vehicle, right? There's the lights go by, right? That's the sound of a vehicle. Okay, that's pretty loud, right? Pretty loud. But anyways, so the point is, what happened to the Kia Rio, right? Because if Brad knew that he was driving it, and this was, I guess, the vehicle of the Uncle Ron's first, and maybe they just allowed Daniel to drive this car, well, what happened to it, right? Not that it's not out there still, but what happened to it? Did it get was it involved in the disappearance of Jack and Lily, right? Why were these strange trips happening on May 2nd between the hours of 12 to 5, right? So it becomes, do I believe in the credibility of what is being said, knowing that the police are saying, well, there's nothing to substantiate it. And when I'm looking at it personally, I believe what Brad is saying. I believe what Justin is saying. I believe that there was a vehicle that was out there that night. I think that Brad would know the difference between, Daniel's vehicle and some other vehicle, because when you live around somebody and you're literally their neighbor, you would pretty much know the vehicle that you're seeing, especially if you've lived there for years and the Mackenzies live around there. It's like a whole fucking, Mackenzie Martell fest in that particular corner of Pictou County and shit, right? Now, so do I see that Malaya's actions are strange? Do I see that Daniel's actions are strange? Do I see that there's 2 children missing and this bullshit is going on? Is it plausible because of the blanket there? Is it plausible that when one of the persons says that they hear, Justin says that they hear the vehicle at 1:30 and then it goes over the tracks and whatever, and then, stops for, I think it stops for a couple of minutes and then goes back up. And he said towards Lairg Road. And I don't believe that it went up towards Lairg Road. That just meaning that was a direction. Perhaps Justin used that direction because, because that's where he has property as well. There was 3 lots. Does he still own it? Not sure. But anyways, there was like 3 lots that have his name on it right near Lairg Road. And you guys saw it on the news clips from CBC Nova Scotia when they put it up there. It's not that I don't believe he actually used the word that he went up to Lairg Road, more that he headed towards, meaning towards that way. Again, don't know. There's definitely things to ask questions about. It's all about getting to the root of it. Why is there a blanket that mysteriously shows up from a blanket that was supposedly torn apart and then before it was put on the door and then shows up? And this whole weird shit of Daniel blaming Haley. Like, fuck off with that shit, Daniel. Like, Daniel is so inconsistent with his timeline and stories and the additions and all that stuff. Like, in my head, do I really think, do I even am I even going to take it for a grain of anything that Daniel is trying to blame Haley? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Again, it's just him tossing out shit to the wind on the Malaya Brooks Murray side every chance that he can get. But where's the truth of all that? Why did Daniel claim that if the children were found with two shirts, that basically Malaya's side planted it against him, right? Why is he saying that Haley planted that blanket when she came after the freaking search team was there? Like, get real. So those are things to me that are absolutely just a bunch of bold-faced fabrications and made-up shit that is trying to distract from the truth for anyone to even say that shit. It is not shit that normal people say. Oh, by the way, this person planted the blanket against me. Oh, by the way, there's the two shirts are missing. Oh, wait, by the way, oh, right. Malaya just wants to snuggle up to me, and that's why she stole two of my shirts and stuff like that. Now you have Malaya saying, nope, I took a few of my things and the kids' things. Didn't take any of his stuff. That Logan was right beside her when she was packing up her stuff. And it was in a Puma bag and stuff like that. So for me, all these little things matter. All these, because you just simply want to have things that add up, make sense, and even the slightest detail, right? Like, and this is where some people don't get this. And I get it, right? I'm just a person that, likes to, of course, bring awareness to cases because I care about people, but I'm that same person that I strive for the truth. Right? I strive for the truth, especially if I feel like there's bullshit. And there's other people that sit back and come to these lives and they just listen to Facebook groups and I'll do whatever. I'm not that person, right? I'm that person that I want to know every fucking detail I can to either prove something or disprove something. And if there's family members or people or witnesses out there that want to help to assist in that, to bring out the truth because they think that bullshit is going on as well, right? Then so be it. You'll get to better one. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's thanks, Brad. But like so for me, I'm just looking for every possible information, right? I'm not sitting here trying to be the lead detective in the case. That's up to the RCMP. But do I like to deep dive into cases for truth and transparency and shit like that? Absolutely. Because I like to do stuff like that. I hate being bullshitted to it, and I hate it when people are fucking lying. Right? Now, do we all lie or have little tidbits? Again, it depends on what level you deem that as. Have I lied in my life? Absolutely. Right? But I've never done anything where I think it's like, detrimental to anything. Like, I don't know, I don't have a child that's gone missing and I'm sitting there changing up a story and crap like that. So I'm looking at everything. What am I seeing going on? Is Malaya, does she have weird actions? Right? I'm not here to make excuses for a mother's bullshit. She can make her own excuses, but I'm not going to, And if it comes ever to bite me in the ass that Malaya, was just some grieving mother and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Nothing I have been told or seen myself has shown any of this mother that's has so much sorrow and pain going on. No. What I see is someone, myself, my own opinion, is someone that, how it is when you say something like that and two children are missing and you're like, well, how can I ask this? Because if she's truly going through it, then, I don't, you know what I mean? How can I even ask that question type of thing? Well, so it is hard, right? Because when I was talking to Malaya in Messenger before, right? It's kind of like you have to be sensitive, but by the same token, you're like, what the fuck's up, Malaya? Like, why the fuck are you not speaking out for your children? Don't give me this bullshit that you're sitting there spending all this time looking for them. It's only natural. And I don't make bullshit for excuses. Fuck you, right? Get off the goddamn pot, get the fuck in front of people and start asking and begging us to help find your children that are missing. your children that came out of your vagina that are missing, and you don't seem to give two fucks about it, and you're not going to make no excuses at all for why it took so long to speak out. I have a problem with that because on the side of Malaya, you have Daniel that can't even be consistent with what he says. So, what is just generally, what would that tell you? That these people are believable? That we're going to keep making excuses for this bullshit of Jack and Lily that are missing, that really need the answers? Or are we going to keep listening to this bullshit from this side, the Brooke side, the Martell side? Or are we going to see through the shit that's going on? So what are you trying to hide? What is it you're hiding? Why are you changing your stories? Why doesn't your timeline make sense? Right? It really becomes 2 + 2, right? Is how I see it. And I'm just so sick and tired of for 6 months watching Malaya's actions. She couldn't even speak on a voice thing to talk about her kids, and you tell other people, don't be afraid to be a voice. Did you write that, Malaya? Because honestly, that was so disingenuous to me. I didn't shed a tear reading it because there was no genuineness coming through that. You're talking about what, 5 months later? Because Please Bring Me Home asked you to put out a statement, and that's the best you could do. Sorry, I'm not here to suck on Malaya's booby or Daniel's Dee and shit like that. I'm just here for answers for Jack and Lily and what makes sense. So does it make sense that Brad perhaps knows what vehicle Daniel Martell was driving? Yes, it does. Does it make sense that 2 people could hear the noise? He showed us. Why would he keep inserting himself? I can tell you right now, just without even knowing Brad, he is not that person that that goes out there to be this, middle of all this activity going on and stuff like that. That he's probably more of a, yeah, fuck, I don't want to be part of that shit type of personality, right? But like he said, because kids are involved, it was the right thing to do. And I'm sure with his wife as well, right? When you have children, right, you do what you feel is right. But never usually do they expect to be the circle, like the main circle of speculation and all this stuff about his arrest, right? They wouldn't even have dreamed that all that shit's gonna come out because all they're thinking about. But that's honestly, unfortunately, true crime. You can't even take a piss without someone knowing that you're taking a piss because some friend, some neighbor, somebody else is going to give you up and they're going to all be, try to get their 15 minutes of fucking something in there, right? They'll sell their souls to the devil if they can just be a part of giving some information, right? These so-called friends and stuff like that, anyways. Zach, sorry about your brother. It's quite a coincidence. No wonder spirit speaks through you clearly. Keep your heart open. If I can't afford it. Not sure what Zach said about his brother there, but it must be something sad. Yeah, that Malaya, right? Malaya said that in her messages to me. She said that Logan was there. If you guys go back and read her messages, she said that Logan was there beside her and helped her pack the duffel bag. It's right in those messages. So just go back to those messages. The reason why I believe that, just quickly, the reason why I believe that there's the other side, I need to go look at my messenger in a second here, but the reason why I know that there's another side is because I've told this story a few times and I never used to tell it to anyone because I just, I never ever want to be deemed as a kook luck. I don't mind being deemed as, Sunny is, kind of like ADHD all over the map sometimes, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm a free spirit. I'm not that person that's in a box. I just tell it like it is. And I don't really care what people think about me. I just really don't. I mean, certain times you get pissy a little bit and stuff like that, but I don't run my life around what people are thinking about me. I know I'm a good person. I know I'm decent. I know what I do, and I know who I am. And I don't need people to like tell me that stuff, but it's always nice that people see that stuff in you and they see your passion and care and that you're genuine for what you do. Now, in saying that, so I'll just quickly say this, and Zach, and you might have heard me say this, but I had a side nephew that I didn't know, and I'm just going to fast version this. Now, he died close to 3 years old of meningitis back in like 2005, 2001, 2005. I have to remember now. It's been so long. Okay. I went upstairs and I said a prayer for Jaron, which is the side nephew. I'd only met him twice, right? Most times I was living away from home in Calgary. Bottom line is, this was my mom's other half. He had 3 daughters, and the oldest daughter had a child, 2 children. One was, of course, oh, is that my husband? Husband? Yeah, 1 second. My husband wants to come in. 1 sec. Okay. Who has been, he says, he goes, I might just be ordering Burger King. I'm like, no problem. Anyways, so basically back again, like this is almost 20 something, about 20 something, about 20 years ago. Anyways, so I went upstairs, laid on the bed, okay? And I said a prayer. Like, I'm not a churchgoer, okay? Doesn't mean I don't believe in things, but I'm just, I'm not a Bible thumper. I don't sit there and read verses. When I was a kid, I did, because my mom would send us to church and shit like that. I just believe if you're a good person and that you believe that there's something past this world, and that's kind of like, so that's why I kind of say that I'm more of like a Buddha, the Buddhism type of way. I just believe that there is another side because of this particular situation, but everyone always tries to understand what happens to us when we pass away. Well, I was given a gift of knowledge, is what I call it. So when Jaron passed, I went upstairs. My son was about 5 years old, and my son, and I want to say this right from the bottom of my heart, my son is the most precious gift ever, because that's how children should be treated. They deserve any love and respect and guidance and everything from us. We are their parents, and it's our job to make sure that our children their voices are heard. They're not to be used and abused. They're precious. They're children. They deserve it. That's why I get pissed off and stuff like this when you see all these fucking games happening. Okay. But anyways, so I said a prayer and I just said, I'm so sorry, for what happened. He died on the way to the hospital. It was, like I said, about 3 years old. Okay. Um, Anyway, so I got that phone call from my mom to let me know that Jaron had passed from meningitis. Of course, my heart, being a deep empath, my heart was just crushed that I literally was just told that this child that I'd met twice, but, could still picture him, had died because of meningitis, and they thought it was the flu. So I went upstairs, laid on the bed, said a prayer. In my head, I got, right, which I just thought I was talking to myself, but in my head, I got this voice that said back to me, please tell my mom I'm okay. And I was like, okay, like, just thinking it was my head talking to me. And so I get it again. I said, okay, so can't do that. I'm just kind of answering back like, yeah, I can't do that, right? Just playing with my own head as I'm taking it. So then he said, please tell my mom that I'm okay, that I'm sad because she's sad, but that I'm okay. But he was sad too because he had passed away. But I was like, no, like, I'm just thinking I'm talking to my own brain, not even thinking it's truly a voice talking to me. And so I basically said, look, I can do a lot of things, and I'm very much of a, do whatever type of person, but there's no way that I'm going to look like a fucking Cracker Jack and say that to your mom of someone's son that have died. Not going to happen. Ain't going to fucking do that. So anyways, he said, Well, I'll make you a deal. If I tell you 2 words and you hear those 2 words at my funeral, then please tell my mom that I told you that I'm okay, that I'm sad because she said. So I said, that is fair. Okay? That's the deal. That's fair. And so in my head, he tells me these 2 words. And those 2 words are like Tay and Popo. But I got mixed up because when I heard the 2 words, I instantly thought of what I call my niece, Shay, Haley Bailey, Paigey Wagey, right? So I was thinking definitely it's just me talking to myself. But anyways, I agreed. I just agreed and was like, sure, no problem. If I hear these 2 words at your funeral next week, and then I believe you that it's you talking to me. So, and I'm just telling you this because, well, I'm just telling you this. Zach says he's not says Zach is a remote viewer, and stuff like that. I believe people have some special gifts out there, and I believe that there's a lot of fraudulent, suck ass people that suck at what they do. Okay, and so I'm very cautious about things like that, right? But I'll listen if it gives me some maybe insight sometimes, right? Like there's only a very few people I do watch when it comes to any sort of mediumship or card reading and stuff like that. Sometimes that's just my wind down type of thing, right? Tired of looking at everything to do with the case. So anyways, fast forward a week. You walk in the church, Jaren's pictures all over the projector at the back of the thing. All I'm thinking about is, am I going to hear these 2 words? But I'm hoping not. Okay. I'm kind of hoping not, because then that means it was just me hearing my own voice talk in my head. So anyways, the whole ceremony is going on. Michelle, very strong lady. The whole ceremony is going on. One second. Here, I'll put this up.
£4.99. You're awesome. Thank you. Sonny, you know that I lost
Sharon.
my brother. One day I will tell you about the premonition I had the night he passed. Not all of us have this gift.
Thank you, Miss Dog Lover. And I know that Miss Dog Lover has talked about that and stuff like that before. Prayers and hugs, Miss Dog Lover. You know how much I love you. And I know, like Melissa, Miss Dog Lover, there's a lot of you guys that literally have the pain. And maybe that's why you came into true crime, to help others, and it gives people comfort and stuff like that. I never wanted to be in true crime. It's how it went. It's just whatever was chosen the path. I guess my clicking on. Anyways, I won't get into that part. Just never expected to be here at all. Not that I don't care about people, but I never expected to be covering true crime. But anyways, so the church. I'm sitting there, I think 2nd row back, and Michelle, right? We're at the very end of this ceremony for Jaren. And Michelle's up on the podium. And I'm looking down and I'm looking through my bangs. And I'm thinking, whew, I'm kind of sad, but I'm kind of happy because I feel like, whew, I don't got to say something to Michelle, but I got to keep my promise. But I'm thinking, no, ceremony's over. Okay, end of story. Guess it was just my brain talking to me. And again, I say this with no word of a lie. Michelle's up on the podium. She makes a move that she's going to get off the podium. She steps right back to the podium. And she says, I don't know if you know this. Crazy, right? She literally stepped back to the podium and says, I don't know if you know this, but Jaren had 2 favorite toys, his Tay and his Popo. And I literally did a fucking jaw-dropping what the fuck moment. And I was like, I did not just hear that. I literally did not just hear that. I was so gobsmacked. And then I smiled because I knew what Jaren said to me. And I thought it was me talking to myself.
but I know I'm a good outlet to come through for people that do want to speak. And it's because if people want to say I'm judgmental, that I believe that anything can happen. I don't close my mind off to anything. So I'm truly a good outlet to come through for anyone that doesn't want to come talk to me. Just because I'm very spiritual in the sense of not no loopy loop, but I'm just spiritual in the sense of I live life by the YOLO, like you only live once. I live life by laughing and realizing that we could be dead tomorrow. I live by the life of that there's a lot of fucking nasty people out in this world. And I choose to be one of those people in my life to know that I care a lot about people and shit like that. People can try to take that away from me. You can't. You can't ever because I know between me and God's lips or God's ears that I know I'm a good person behind everything, right? Is that, and again, it's not that I'm perfect, but I know that I've lived my life around always helping people, lending an ear, always trying to do things to make others have a special day, right? I know that about me. I don't need anyone actually really telling me about who I am that way because I already know. I'm strong enough as a person between my domestic violence relationships and shit like that. I don't got to take anyone's shit. I'm not here to try to be a fraudulent person to anybody, right? I don't care if people don't believe even in this story. I don't care. I know. So after that, I smiled and I thanked Jaron for the gift of knowledge. And I've always been grateful. I spoke to him always for about 5 years after that, like regularly at nighttime. And the way he showed himself to me was kind of like being in a window and I'm seeing him sitting on a stump and there's long grass and trees behind him, but long grass. And he's looking at a pond and he's sad. And he's sad because he didn't expect to die, but he was more sad, he was more worried about his mom and that he wanted to use me to pass on the message, which I did, by the way, and I did it in the way that I best could, right? And I had an opening and it didn't even dawn on her that I was saying this because she wouldn't have even thought, well, like, I mean, I don't know about your kids, Tate and Popo. I don't know what these even are, right? I just know that those were 2 toys that she said. Jaron never told me. He just told me 2 words he was going to tell me, and stuff like that. So I've always held that near and dear. I've had other things, but this has been the most prolific thing where I knew that my mom, it's like, mom, like I've asked her of things and these things have happened, right? In a sense, when I've said like, mom, if that's really you, do it again. I get those vibrations through my body whenever I know that somebody's around me. Do I sit there and go on about it on lives and stuff like that? No, it's just my own personal stuff. But if I could change or impact somebody's thoughts just by letting them know that they're around us and all you need to do is talk to them, right? Then why wouldn't I? And if people want to think I'm a cuckoo clock and stuff like that, go right ahead. Don't care. Because there's going to be those people that are going to be like, Sunny, I understand what you're talking about. It happened to me as well. Or this experience happened to me. So I know. So I walk through life going, if I die tomorrow, fine. I'm dead. Thank you. See you up in heaven there, with the rest of the family. And I'm fine with that because I was given the gift of knowledge. And I thank Jaron for that for over 20 years now, for giving me that answer that I was seeking. What happens to us when we die? Do we still carry on? Do our soul spirits carry on? So anyways, that was my personal experience. And again, I'm not here to be a big preacher of that. Sometimes I just share these things because, again, if it can help somebody else that has a loss of somebody, but truly most people need to experience it for themselves. And that's how they need to become a believer of things. But I'm not here to try to force you to believe it. I'm just telling you my own personal experience. And if you guys watch me enough, I'm not full of shit. And I'm not sitting there pulling out some fucking tarot cards and shit like that. Not that I don't think people are good at that stuff. I just, it's just things that I have of personal knowledge. And so, like I said, Zach, he's going to be on next Friday with me at 5:00, 8:00 his time. Again, he does remote viewing and stuff like that. Some people, it's not part of their religion and stuff like that, but I kind of
find that a little bit comical because, I mean, I just don't understand how people can use the religion thing as if they don't want to listen to, um, like mediums and stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense to me. But I respect it, right? I just whatever people want to listen to or not want to listen to, it's totally up to them, But all I know is it's whatever you want to believe, and I believe that. I know, I don't believe. I know that we can communicate with the other side, but you have to be open to it as well, not closed off. Um, you're exactly right, Sunny. Made me tear up because I know how real it is, and so do you. Yeah, it's really hard because God, somebody's smoking weed outside. I can smell it badly. My thing is this: is that again, there's lots of people out there that understand, what I'm saying and stuff like that, and uh, it's just one of those things. People need instead of being closed minded, be open minded. You know, um, for me personally, if I could give everyone my personal vision of knowledge of that and let everyone feel and know what I felt and that those words were truth were exactly those words. If I could give everyone the power to understand that our loved ones are around us and all we need to do is talk to them, we might miss them here in the physical world, but we can still talk to them and communicate with them. I think that people put expectations. I didn't ask to be communicated with. I was communicated with, but not because I asked for it. So I'm just thankful for the gift of knowledge. And I just feel like, again, that I'm one of those, what do you want to call it, intuits or inuits and stuff like that. That is, yeah. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of spirits that would love to come through me. That's so what pisses me off here, though, Zach, what pisses me off is that every night I go to bed thinking about Jack and Lily. If I could have one special power, I'm telling you right now, as much as it would probably be very weighing on me, if I could have one special power, it would be to give the families the gift of knowledge of to what happened to their babies, to their husband, to their wife, to their family member. If I could visually see that about how it all played out and where those bodies are, those people are, that would be the gift I would ask for. Because if there's nothing that hurts me more, is when people have someone missing, loved ones missing, and there's no answer. They don't know if they're alive, they don't know if they're dead. Imagine waking up with that feeling every day to your own child that you don't know, you know? And then tell me, sorry, but tell me that these actions are coming out of the mother of these missing two kids. These actions of, you know, I'm so heartbroken and, no, 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 no. Okay. Go watch regular people that are missing their children. Go watch what the normal people do. And then come back and tell me how normal it is that you got the stepdad that can't stay consistent and a mother that can barely speak out about her own children. And no, 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 no. Not going to have it. Not on my channel, not on my dime, you know. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Hi, the Nancy. Now, let me just quickly see because I'm going to get off here in a minute too. I do have to work tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. I think my shift is 8 to 4 tomorrow. But let's see here. Um, yeah. Oh, I thought I was reading a different conversation there. No, that's not the right house, though, Sue. That's not. Yeah, I don't think that's the right house because that was on the other side. Sue, remember when I showed those pictures? Okay, I'll look at those again later, Sue, just to go back to it, okay? Um yeah, I don't think that that's the right place. Hey, um does anyone in chat know if I bring up this map? Um, if I bring up this map and and thank you guys for your love and support, okay? And like I said, I'm not here for a pity party or anything like that. If I tear up, yeah, it's because people mean a lot to me and stuff like that, and it just makes me sad. Like, I mean, I am a very emotional person that way, but I love the fact that I'm an emotional person. There's sometimes I wish that I wasn't a deep empath because sometimes it's just really hard feeling sad about things that like this case, for instance, these children aren't mine, but it doesn't stop my heart from hurting for family members or for these children first and foremost and stuff like that, you know. Um, so sometimes I wish that I didn't feel as deeply as I do, but by the same token, it is who I am, and I just have to simply be appreciative of the person that I am, and that it's not, I mean, as much as I think sometimes it's a burden, I also think by the same token, it's a beautiful thing. So I am grateful for the person that I've turned out to be in life, on my personality traits and stuff like that, you know. And if you don't like it, suck it. Sunny, can I adopt you as my new sister? You want to be a quadruplet? Because I think I already got my twin sister. I got a couple of people that are got triplets going on and quadruplets and sextuplets and yes. Um, an empath is a gift and a curse. It is. It honestly is. I wish. I mean, I love the fact that I feel so deeply, but by the same token, I used to cry at everything back in the day, Like I said, this is the person that's here today is a strong Sunny because of abusive relationships and because I allowed people to walk over me and I got tired of it after a while. I just got tired of the bullshit of that, right? I feel like I didn't deserve to be hit or kicked in the eye and, suffocate. I didn't deserve that shit. I learned to love myself, right? That's why I just have this defensive wall. Like, go ahead, speak about me, talk about me, do all those things, right? But it's kind of one of those things, but still the Sunny before was always crying. If somebody said something that hurt my feelings, I would be bawling, right? So I'm 56 years old and it's taken a lot of different things in my life to happen to bring me to the point that I am today. But I like that I'm a no muss, no fuss type of personality. And I like strong personalities as well, that where you're strong enough that people can't take shit away from you. And that's why, like in a case like this, if it was happening to my children and stuff like that, I would be full force out there, absolutely begging for people. I would be so freaking crazy, lost with what to do and what I'm seeing in this case is not what I believe is happening at all. But yeah, go ahead, adopt me if you want. I mean, I come with a fee though. You can adopt me for a fee. Okay, let me make this bigger. Does anyone know which address is 1135 on okay. Which address is 1135? Oh, that's right here. Okay, so I don't know who owns this property, but this is the one that I was shown was Earl's property at the very beginning. And that's where these two black cars were shown to me. And then I come to realize that that's what happens when I don't do my own due diligence, because I was just taking it from Hidden in the Fog when she had a map, and I just figured that she was correct, right? Because she had been talking with some of the family there. But come to realize that this is Earl's house, this is Ron's house. I don't know if another Martell owns this home. I don't know. Yeah, maybe somebody can figure out if another Martell, whatever, owns this side of the land here. I think Janie owns something. Didn't Janie say she owns something between her brother's house and Earl's home? That she owns some freaking ass more land over here. So I don't know who owns this, but that's where the pictures of the black vehicle come from. And I think and one of them I think is like a Kia something. So I don't know. Maybe Brad, maybe if you do know privately, if this is like whose home this one is, 1135 Lansdowne Road on there. Hey, not buying a house. Just saying. For that. Does any No, that's not Earl's. No. That's what I mean. It's not Earl's. There's had to be corrections over the time because information wasn't correct. So this particular address is 1135. And that's the one that I thought was Earl's house, and then I had to realize that it wasn't, and his and Ron's property is here. I don't know why Google has the blanket was found here. Like, Google, what the fuck? Like, who put that there? I think it must be Google had to have done that. I don't know. I don't know who does that. Anyways, blanket found here, right? Pipeline, Earl's home, Ron's home, Martell Mackenzie home. You know, you know what? I'm just gonna need to figure out some more information, right? Because I'm kind of confused myself, and I know if I ask Daniel, he's just gonna tell me a bunch of BS anyway. So there's no point. So, you know, yeah. Give 1135 Lansdowne Station. No. Sorry, my bad. Let's say that right. Lansdowne Road. 1135 Lansdowne Road. Is that? Because I know that there's other Mackenzies and Martells or whatever that live around here. It's almost like, it almost reminds me of when there's a takeover of land, you know? And all of a sudden it's just like all family that pretty much lives around there. 1 second. How long is this live anyway? Lansdowne Town. 1 sec. Road. How long is this live? Oh, hey, not bad. Only 3 hours and 36 minutes. Not doing yesterday's live was like freaking 5 hours. 4 hours and 41 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just see something here. You know what? While I'm just waiting for Wolfie to check something out for me, let's play a little bit of Plunder. Let's see here. Okay. Let's listen to a little bit of Plunder audio dispatch. Okay. Let's see here.
Anyway, that's what we've got now.
Okay, 10-4, so over 6 kilometers out. I see that you have 2 locations here. Which location are we talking about starting point? At 783, so I see two locations where there's a lot of cars. Which of the 2 locations is the starting point for the missing?
1407 Gairloch Road is the last point known to this residence. So we've been concentrating on the area behind the residence.
So I see 2 locations in north and south. Which one would it be?
Break, Station 83 is Patrol 4. I'm just facing the residence here now. So between, just off my nose, you can see the fire vehicle there with the lights on. That's the residence.
Okay, 10-4, yeah, big red truck, we got it. And from there, they're looking out. I guess the 2 would have departed from there.
Yeah, that's affirmative. So I'm essentially in the backyard here now, and sounds like they did not cross the road, but that's yet to be determined. And so yeah, we've been just pounding these hills back here.
Okay, 10-4, thanks for the heads up. And do we know if there's a drone up in the air at all or not?
Negative on the drones. Sounds like there's 4 drones on the ground, but none of the drones are in the air at the moment, and they're all monitoring Neutral 8-6 as well and broadcasting their intentions when they're ready.
Okay, 10-4, thanks.
Yeah, right on. And yeah, I'm just going to work this area for the next little bit. Just let me know if you guys want me out of your way, and we're just going to be landing. Once we do, there's a looks like an old park there kind of to the south, kind of southeast there on the other side of the road. That's where I'm in the station of. And then there's also a field. You'll see the comms truck up by the train tracks with this red and white strobe on in the boom. I was landing in that field as well in the back, lots of room.
Okay, 10-4, thanks for the info. Okay, 10-4. Otherwise, what are the details? Have they been gone a long time?
0800.
Okay, this is the Casilla RPAS team. The fire department was coming in with their drone team. We are set up by the Nova Scotia Public Safety's repeater. So my suggestion is that they could come up here, join us, look at the map, divide up our space so that the drones are.
Autumn, yes. Sonny, I have a question for you. Do you remember Daniel saying he used a light on his phone to check the culverts? Yes, I do. Exactly. Again, we've heard that Daniel took Malaya's phone for some reason, wouldn't use his own. So was it Malaya's phone? Was it one of his burner phones? Who knows? I mean, because he did say that he left his phone, on the end table and, stuff like that. And he said that she left her phone inside her trailer there and that she didn't get it until after the RCMP were there, which was bullshit because she talked to Ron at 10:19. Again, the whole timeline thing is a bunch of BS to me. And Jack and Lily, right? Like, cut the shit. The timeline is just so bizarre. Let's put it that way. And all I deem it as is we got weird interview from the mother. We got pulling out teeth timeline. We've got different due to Daniel. We've had different versions of events of exactly what happened. Now I can understand getting certain things mixed up, but I don't understand about certain things like mixing up a blanket and stuff like that. And then Darren coming forward to say that Daniel said that the reason why he lied about the blanket and stuff like that, right? And about the articles and that Daniel was smart, that he told the RCMP ahead of time. Again, Daniel can try to portray whatever he wants and stuff like that. And again, he might be the most guiltiest innocent person of this, but I have a hard time believing that these children are hidden. I have a hard time believing that the children are in the woods, but it's still a possibility. Buried somewhere in the woods, sure. Buried or underwater, sure. That the kids wandered off from the property themselves and a blanket ends up in a tree. I just have a hard time believing all that stuff. Why? It's not because I don't want to. It's just because it's not like I'm like brainless, right? I sit there and I think about these things all the time, but I always keep coming back to the home. I keep coming back to the actions, the inconsistencies, the timeline that doesn't make sense. I keep coming back to all this stuff, right? I keep coming back to things that I've been told privately and things that I've been told that I could say openly. And so it's just a matter of trying to just find out the true puzzle pieces to Jack and Lily. But if I had to say what I felt and my opinion, it's that Jack and Lily are no longer with us, that something happened to them, and it happened to them on their home ground. Um, Something happened to Jack and Lily. And the reason why I think that is because all the things that I just stated already. When something doesn't sit right, and all you kind of keep hearing is bullshit, and that two people don't seem to give a care about the truth unless they're covering their own asses. So the most likely thing in cases like this, regardless, is that there's family involvement or somebody close to the family. And so I'm just going based on information, what I see, and what I see is a bunch of hogwash bullshit. That's how I see it. Why? Because that's what's been shown. And that's why it's kind of like, yeah, do I always try to think of outside the box or more information that might say something different? Oh, 1 second. My husband's here. He's got my dairy, or no, my Burger King. Okay. Sorry, that was my husband bringing me Burger King. That's it. Don't really have Burger King too often. But hey, but if you guys all remember Harvey's made the most amazing chicken sandwich, and it was like long. And I always think for some reason that Burger King has an amazing chicken sandwich, and every time I eat it, I'm like, oh my god, that tastes like shit every single time. I don't know why. Just I can never forget the Harvey's chicken sandwich when it was on the long bun. It's so good with their special sauce. Anyways, okay, so before my food gets cold, and I have to work tomorrow. So I'm going to bid you guys adieu for tonight. And I don't think that, Wolfie, if you come back, um, 1 second here. Well, I'll wait another minute or two here. But if not, whatever, if need be, if I feel like I can do another live tomorrow, perhaps, if there's, because it's just about trying to find the truth. And Jack and Lily are children. They're innocent children. They don't deserve bullshit. They deserve the truth. And I don't think that Justin or Brad are trying to throw us for a loop or trying to deceive us. But again, always you try to have receipts, but if receipts aren't available, you just try to go always to the horse's mouth and stuff like that. Anyways, did you look up 1130 Gordon Summit Road? No. What is that supposed to be, by the way, Marie? Yeah. I mean, just go back to their own statements, right? That the children would never cross the road, that they would never like leave the property and all that stuff, right? Like if we're going to use like their own words, I know that DT uses documents and I get that, right? He's looking at the documents like he says, I get it, right? And based on what the documents are saying, right? Like Daniel thinks that he's like home free and stuff like that. But I it's kind of one of those things. Yeah. I mean, but it's their statements. The only thing out of those documents, I guess, would be the fact of passing polygraph. But I also know that could be something that, for questions. Go back and ask them about 30 questions, eh? And then freaking polygraph them, right? 1 second. Got a cough. 1 sec. Okay, thank you very much, Wolfie, for that. So yeah, that home at 1135 it's not connected to a Martell name or a Mackenzie name. So again, that car had, they must have a fucking Kia shop or something like that's in, Westville or somewhere around there. Like, this must be like a vehicle that a lot of people pick because yeah, Durwood driving a freaking Kia Sportage, right? You hear about the Sportage that morning on the scanner radio. But it's to a bald guy, and I can't remember what his name was, and stuff like that, right? So, but you have all these like Kias and stuff like that. So I'm like, is there like a freaking main shop there, like that's around them that has to do with selling Kias? Is that why there's so many freaking Kias being talked about on there? So I appreciate that. Thank you, Wolfie. And I think. Okay. And so I'm gonna let that go tonight. Okay. I'm not gonna uh talk about anything else I don't feel like tonight. Thank you guys for being here. Didn't really get to go over the comments too much tonight. Sometimes I have a lot more things where I'm going over the comments, but tonight, no, sorry about that. Enjoy the BK. I'm jealous. get DoorDash and Uber Eats where I live. Oh, that's just exactly it. I think my husband and that use Uber Eats. They're notorious, him and his brother, for bringing in food. And not gonna lie, free meal's gonna come my way from my husband. You know, except for yesterday. Yesterday he brought me home a Subway, and just because my husband, I'm like, "What did you have for lunch today?" And then he's like, "Subway," and I'm like, "You know how I feel about Subway. I love my BLTs." And so when he came home, well, I said to him, I said, "You gotta get your wife one of those because I love Subway, right?" And so he's like, "No, fuck that. It's out of the way, blah, 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 right?" And of course, I'm just like, whatever. So what happened? My husband come home with the BLT. And then later on, he ordered himself chicken tiki masala, something like that. So anyways, and then today, I know my husband, he needs to lay off of all this outside ordering. There's a reason why we have groceries and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, Wolfie, thank you so much for showing that. You guys have a good night. Prayers to everyone. Jack and Lily, one second. Jack and Lily, blessings and prayers to Jack and Lily. And please, you guys, again, if you have information, keep talking. Please bring answers. Maybe it's something that you do know that just isn't like, is that little nugget that maybe is being overlooked. Because a lot of times people, they'll say like, what do I have to offer? Well, there's a lot of things that they could offer, right? There's sometimes just little details that they might not have thought about to say that actually do matter. So justice for Jack and Lily, you guys. Good night, Zach. For sure, we'll see you on the live next Friday there. Oh, you did? No need to pay for that stuff. I know that Mike Damon had put it on his channel when he was showing a bunch of lots the other day on there. But anyways, if somebody does need to email me, and I'm not the best emailer person, but I do try to get back to people when I can. But anyways, it's crimingshame@gmail.com. So that's crimingshame@gmail.com. Okay. So, Deborah, if you did find something more with information, please, even if it's about, I don't know. I don't know exactly how that works. I've looked it up, but I know that there's something that you have to be in like some sort of landowner, that people that can view that stuff, that pay for it. Good night, Dylan. Yeah. A bald guy, Sonny, LOL. Think it's the all-wheel and 4-vehicle drives they are looking for in that info. Don't know. I just pray for justice for Jack and Lily. They deserve it. That's where my heart is. It's always on the victims first and foremost and stuff like that. I gave Earl's address without looking like I'm doxing him, but whatever, I was going to say, Earl has some comments there that he's, it's like, I don't know. I think Earl's going through some mental health issues himself on that end, putting up some posts, kind of raging and then taking them down and back up and back down. People are getting antsy. They want answers. Earl, go talk to your son. Go talk to Daniel. Anyways, you guys, that being said, I'll just play a video for Jack and Lily. Nope, I don't want image file. Video file. Big hugs for Jack and Lily.
Quiet dawn of a May morning, two little hearts went out to play. Lily's laughter, Jack's small footsteps, Come home, Jack and Lily. We're praying for your steer. The woods are deep and silent, but our love will draw you near. Through forest paths and endless trees, searchers called your names aloud. Hope flickered in the morning breeze as prayers rose up to the clouds. Come home, Jack
Thank you.